One, 2,
6 million.
33. Welcome back, everyone. It's Friday night. It's your regular hangout at Rise Above TV. But tonight, this is a recorded message. We're recording this yesterday, Thursday. It's today for you, and it's today for us. But it's yesterday when you watch this.
And you guys have just missed an awesome stream that we've just done on Peasantron.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been smashing Peasantron, guys. Basically, when there's no Rise Above Live on YouTube, we do midweek Raw live on Patreon. We've just recorded one now. There will be one next week on Wednesday. So we just can't stress it enough. Get over to Peasantron. We're putting the work in there. So much content. It's very varied as well. You know, Friday night is just an afterthought nowadays. It's all about Peasantron. So check the QR code and get onto there. Right, we've got some pretty exciting news.
Yes, we have, Michael.
We have something magical happen today. And we're actually just about to sit down on Peasantron and go and review what's just happened. The universe has aligned. Clown World has shifted. Loads of people have had their old YouTube channels that were deleted reinstated today, including us, or rather me, because this is my old personal channel. Way before Rise Above,
Michael.
The channel was just called Double LMC.
It's clearly racist.
But it was the home of Rise Above, the original home, and today we got it back. Yeah, that's right.
No warning, it just appeared.
Yeah, no warning, it just appeared. All I had to do was press a button. All of the original videos are there. The couple that are still banned, I'm appealing, and they're putting them all back up. All the original COVID 1984 videos. The Serco speech is back.
We're in a battle to get my Chronicles of Pizzagates Part 1 and 2 back because they seem to be holding those ransom.
Yeah, so it's not just us. Loads of people have had their channels reinstated. We're obviously very excited. It's nostalgic. I think we should start broadcast. Well, tonight we're broadcasting on this channel as well. I'm going to broadcast on this channel.
Nice.
There might be thousands of people on this channel that never migrated over to the new channel.
Yeah.
That, you know,
Might have some stragglers, some Ramish refugees.
Yeah, some like
who
refugees.
just like around the realm, like even in foreign countries that might have just been like, might just pop up on their phone. But oh my god, I remember these guys. I remember these guys.
We left them in 2021 when the channel got deleted. In I think it was July 2021. The channel got deleted, and it said
Man,
no
there might
appeal.
be people from like China on there that have like watched it like, on some fucked up VPN. I've seen like the Circo speech.
But I'm telling you, if you scroll through these videos, this is when we were militant in 2020. There's all of my stuff out on the streets. Some of the very first videos that me and PG did together. This is real COVID history.
some
right
of it,
here,
some of
guys.
it's really cringe. Right, at it's, you know, it
Yeah.
gets better,
Yeah.
but it's some of it is
Yeah,
at the start.
you've got to go back and you've got to appreciate the progression.
Bear with us, guys.
Yeah, right. So that's cool because tonight, what you guys are going to watch in your little melee of clips. If I just go to the live here, you can go back. This one ends at number 28. Tonight, you're going to actually see clips or two chunks rather of episode 20 where we did Operation Antarctica, Magic's Word Nerd, Oma Beats in the studio, and also episode 77. There's a chunk as well.
We used to have like 4 or 5 people in the studio,
And there was
on the
in the Guardians on remote as well. So yeah, this channel is back up. Go and subscribe to it, Double LMC on YouTube. You might find that you are still subscribed and it's just popped up again for you. We are going to start broadcasting on this channel again.
Is that Tomek Rabbi Steam down the bottom there, Lance?
That is, look, this is when
It is.
this is when I first got
Don't play it now. No.
I'm just showing. This was the first ever webcam.
Yeah,
the first ever live broadcast. This is. So yeah, history has revealed itself. I think what's happened is they've realised that everyone that was saying all this stuff about the Soviet Union was right.
Yeah.
They're actually sorry, you were correct. We actually censored
Or
you.
it's the part of the ritual, the unveiling.
Yeah, part of the Dark Enlightenment.
But we'll see, guys. You have to tune in.
Yeah, so once again, let's just get rid of that. Thanks for tuning in. Stick with us. Get your merch. We've got new designs, new merch designs.
Word to your Nan t-shirts.
Word to your Nan t-shirts are now
are out.
available. The new Ninja Rabbit design is now available. We will be back live on the 31st. I think we've covered everything down here.
Buy some tickets for Rise Above and Mark Devlin, January.
Yeah, I'll put the QR code on the screen.
It's January 31st, Michael.
There
The
it is.
31st?
Yeah, the January the 31st. We're in Southampton at the Attic. Mark Devlin is doing one of his excellent presentations, and we are also going to do an exclusive scoop on MI33, our covert and overt work out on the streets, undercover.
Or Ramish Tactics.
Our Ramish Tactical Squad. We're very excited to give you the inside scoop on that. Tickets are only £12 on the early bird. I think they're still available. 31st, that's a Saturday night in Southampton at the Attic, the comedy club. And we'll have some drinks afterwards as well somewhere, which we'll sort out a bit later. Right, stay
So,
Ramish.
Enjoy the show.
Yeah, enjoy the show.
Word to your Nan.
We'll be back next week with a live Word to Your Nan.
Tonight, what is it about, Andy?
Antarctica.
Operation Antarctica. Can we say hello to Inner Guardians? Inner Guardians, how are you doing?
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear
Are
me
you,
okay?
Yeah, you sound great. Are you at the Off Grid Dojo?
Yes, I am tonight, yeah. But I will be going in and out, so I'll be in and off the camera to see you now.
That's no problem whatsoever. One sec.
I need the decks for the mic to work. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes,
you can.
yes.
Excellent.
Okay, I'll leave that turned up. I apologise.
No
We've got
worries,
an
mate.
extra
No,
level of entertainment tonight with the decks in the corner and Oma Beat. So bear with us, guys.
It's another little plug-in he's got to work with.
Big up Yoji33. He says hi to Master Lee. Hang tight, Sasha English. Danny Morelli, you're a new one. Rise Above. Yeah, we had some tech problems, mate. It happens all the time. The denying force every week tries to strike us down. Isn't that right, in the Guardians?
Yeah, it's probably my fault. Sorry.
Do you reckon you brought that along with you?
We've had it
Possibly,
from time.
No, yeah, we've had it. Like Oma Beat says, we've had it since day one. So
Antarctica, Operation Antarctica.
well, we've got normal business to get through first, obviously.
Of course,
right? So
of course.
can you share the screen for me? Remember, you're doing the controlling tonight. I'm just going to sit back because I've had a tough week. The denying force has been up against me. Haven't really had a lot of time to think about the show tonight, so I've left it to the team to do the prep. Press share screen, mate.
There we go.
Share screen, and you want to share screen 2. That's the one. Share with audio. Nah, get rid of that. So, Inner Guardians, while we're sorting this out, why don't you give us a little roundup of how you think the last week's gone with the denying force manifesting itself in the mainstream media? What you making of what you've seen this week?
Well, it's a mixture. There's been all kinds of things from almost light entertainment all the way through to, well, serious crimes, as in, people
And some
losing their lives.
serious mockery there's been this week. Serious mockery.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. Light entertainment all the way through to serious crimes.
Yeah, it's literally been that over the last week at least. A lot of the predictions have seemed to be materializing.
At a rapidly increasing rate, I would say.
Yeah. Well, we're hitting a critical mass shortly, so it's to be expected.
And when you say critical mass, what do you mean by that?
Well, I think I've got my own theories, and it's partially linked to what we're going to be discussing tonight. It may not suit everybody, but
that's all good.
My theory.
And sheep of knowledge, we will be talking about Tanzania tonight. Yes, because that's coming up. That's under this week's news at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, for
so,
sure.
Let's share that screen again, Andy PG, and hold that thought, Inner Guardians, because we have got some topics from the week. Let's scroll down a little bit. Why is it doing that? So let's get past the Rise Above fundraiser. Yeah, if you want to send me some money to help with my fight against the Soviet Union, we all know about that. We'll talk about that later. Let's go down. So, big up this. Someone got a special Rise Above Friday coffee today from the coffee shop. Have you seen this yet?
Yeah, so that's I think our friend Millie works.
Our team member.
Yeah, our team member.
Millie Bite Size. Bite Size. Yeah, Bite Size.
Millie Bite Size.
She's a what's the word when you make a barista?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And another Rise Above viewer went in, bought coffee. She got a special Rise Above coffee. Right, okay. Let's do this week's news in order. Who knows about this? Andy PG?
This one's a shady one. So the executive office requires the immediate appointment of an advertising contractor to build on and continue to deliver a multimedia advertising campaign on COVID-19. The contract duration is for 2 years, commencing 1st of April 2021. The maximum budget is £2 million exclusivity. So, but what's important there is, guys, it's commencing on April 1st, 2021, April Fool's Day, and it's for 2 fucking years.
Yeah, it's a bit naughty, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, have we not heard enough?
So
about have we not had enough of an advertising campaign
months
already?
and months ago, we shared the document from the World Bank, which stated that they were.
The World Trade Commission,
whatever they were
WTC.
going to do was going to end on the 31st of March 2025.
Yeah.
So we're already in 2021. There's another 2 years of it, so that's 2023.
Yeah. So, well, I guess this is just the next 2 years. Then there'll be
Next
a
2
new
years.
advertising campaign in 2023, I guess. So, yeah, who knew about that? That's been passed this week. I shared this one. I really like this. I'll share that screen. Andy PG, can you control the bloody screen, please? Stop.
Sorry,
making me do it.
you did just take them out.
I know. Share the screen. Right. So, shake hands, gather in groups, swap microbes, and build immunity. Save lives. But I guess this really goes for people that aren't vaccinated, because you don't want to be swapping microbes for people that have got a Schwabian spreader technology inside, do you, really?
Apparently not, no.
Apparently not. Apparently that's not good. So where's the source? 300,000 years of being a human. That's where this information came from.
You're going to mention about the leaky vaccines, or is that?
Well, I think I'd actually like to hand that over to you, because I've actually just touched on that. The AstraZeneca thing, and I'm not going to put any slides on the screen, Lee, because I know, as you know, the algorithm will pick them up. So we'll speak in our lingo. But yeah, so the glorious gift from God, which is what AstraZeneca means in Latin. What is your understanding of that, what you saw this week in the Guardians?
Well, there's more and more information coming out each week, or each day even. And it appears that the vaccines that they're giving, or the cure that they're giving, makes you into a petri dish of new strains and new toxins, of which you're not immune to. Yeah. So you're not. It doesn't prevent you from getting anything. It doesn't stop you from giving it. So what do you get? You get a certificate.
And that's the
Not
definition
freedom.
of a leaky vaccine. It's something that doesn't actually stop you from contracting it. It just means you're less likely to be hospitalized, but you can still pass it on to everyone else.
Yeah, but also you develop new strains, so your body becomes
An incubator.
an incubator. Yeah.
Awesome. So
it's
potentially,
going to be kind of flipped. You know, it's inverted. So those that think they're safe are actually going to be the dangerous ones.
yeah. And that would sort of fit. I mean, I haven't got any proof or slides of this, but I've heard from a reliable source that RT reported this week that the countries that have halted the vaccine from the glorious gift from God around the world are also saying that if you have taken it, you won't be able to travel there. Now that begs the question: why would you not be allowed to go to the country that has halted that glorious cure just because it's inside you, unless you were actually, like you say, an incubator spreading it to other people? So, yeah, not good. Next slide, please, Andy PG, because we don't want to dwell on the COVID Union too much this week. We're going to have a bit of fun.
No.
So, right, yeah, let's talk about this quickly. This came in this week. I could start talking about why this has come in and the event that's happened, the triple 33 killing of Mrs. Sarah Everard. I'm going to be honest, guys. I found out so much about that. I need to properly compile it, and I reckon we can make a whole show. I have some. I came across some pretty startling stuff, which I have to be actually probably very careful about releasing, because if I'm right about what happened to her, if I start blubbering my mouth, then I could be putting myself at risk. So I really want to get to the bottom of it before I talk about that. But anyway, the result is a new policing bill, and if I'm right, I've looked at it, that basically means there's a maximum 10 years prison sentence for public disorder, i.e. protesting. So obviously
I read it's like a £2,500 fine just for speaking on a megaphone.
Yeah,
outside
well,
Parliament.
I'm facing £10,000 fine for speaking on a megaphone, and I've spoke to my lawyer. I'm allowed to talk. I'm allowed to say that. Yeah, I'm facing a £10,000 fine for telling the truth on a bench about the COVID Union,
if they can.
So under Priti Patel's law, I could have been facing 10 years in prison for what I did. And I didn't even say much. I didn't even really, like, it wasn't the Serco speech. I basically just said they're taking our rights away, and then they bundled me in the back of a van. So, yeah, that's not good. So everyone that's going to protest tomorrow, be careful, guys. There are going to be infiltrators there. There's going to be APs, agent provocateurs. There's going to be instigators. There's going to be Soros agents. There's going to be
Antifa.
Radicalized teenagers shouting about trans rights and BLM and Antifa, and everyone needs to be really careful about what they get caught up in.
There's going to be gender tension because of the what the media's just puked out the last couple of weeks over this murder.
Yeah. No, who was it a minute ago? Someone, the sheepdog. Tanzania. Mr. What's his name? Magalufi, this guy.
So yeah, this guy went missing allegedly.
Let's start the story. Why is he gone missing?
He rejected the world. I was going to say the World Economic Forum, but basically it's
Wuhan,
the Wuhan Health Organization. And just as a little bit of side note, this guy is not a member of the World Economic Forum. Okay, he's not a member.
So what did he also do? He famously on camera he got the PCR test.
He
tested
did a papaya,
the pawpaw, the
goat.
As he calls it, the pawpaw.
A goat.
We call it a papaya. Yeah, he tested some engine oil.
Yeah, that's right. And he put names on them, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like it was people, sent it off, and they all came back positive for COVID-19.
This clip here, right? When I first got this, and I should have screenshotted it. This article was literally sponsored by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It said it in the corner. And what does it say? It is time to rein in Tanzania's anti-vax president.
So they labelled him anti-vax.
He's an anti-vaxxer, right?
Denier.
What is wrong with John Magufuli? Yeah, so they're against him. They've been against him since day one. Hardly surprising. This dude's been telling the truth consistently, and obviously, we
told all his citizens not to wear masks, didn't he?
Yeah,
he actually told them.
He's like, don't. It's a satanic takeover by a cult paedophile or something like that. That's what he said.
Wow. So next slide, please. Here we go. Speculation grows over missing COVID denying president of Tanzania.
So this is the 10th of March. The guy went missing. Speculation grows. He's been missing. The president goes missing.
I mean, how does that even happen? The president of a country goes
The security
missing.
services His close advisors don't know where he is. He's gone missing, right? So what's the explanation? What could possibly happen to him?
I mean, the first place I'd look is in Hillary Clinton's back garden. Next one. Tanzania's president dies age 61 after COVID rumors.
COVID rumors.
I mean,
What?
what the
A
hell's a
rumor of
COVID rumour?
going missing? How is going missing a COVID rumor? What are you saying about this in the Guardians? Is this a bit fishy?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's very sad, but
It is very sad. Apparently, this guy was very progressive.
So who's he been replaced with? He's been replaced by the vice president, who is a member of what, Lance?
The World Schwabian Forum.
No.
Yeah, WF. I should have had a slide for that guy. If I had more time,
I
I'd
can
have all
get
these
that
slides. Yeah, Jamie
get
it,
that
Jamie it. Get it. So this guy has been labelled, and some people won't like this, the Trump of Africa. He was apparently about to lead Tanzania out of the third world and into the developed world through Pan-Africanism, through capitalism, and he wasn't playing the game. And what happens when you don't play the game of the dark occultists?
You get suicided.
Well, you generally either have a heart attack or you swing from a doorknob.
Some what
John Magalufy replacement. But just to show you who he's been replaced with, because obviously this guy was totally against vaccines, totally against max vaccinating, guinea pigging his whole population. Here we got.
One second. Keep talking, Lance.
Keep talking, Lance. Yeah, so this is not the first African president that's been taken out. We've also had the president of Burundi, who 1 week after kicking the Wuhan hoax organization out of the country, he died of a heart attack. Oh, I had it on my Facebook. Oh, you just got a picture of Schwab.
So I'm just gonna pull this
Yeah, put it over
over
there.
here. So her name
It does look like a Schwab.
Where is she? Keep talking, Lance. We're gonna find her.
She's got an Islamic name.
We'll find her.
There's no black women on there. But yeah, so it's anyone can find this. The most progressive leader in Africa, an actual person who's actually was probably a bit of a Gaddafi. That's what people reckon Gaddafi was like. Gone, laced with a stooge. There she is. That's her. Samia Suluhu. She is a puppet of Lord Schwab. Lord Schwab has got his finger directly up her sphincter, puppeting her like this. She's just a puppet.
So yeah, she's a member of the World Economic Forum, which is no
surprises there.
no surprise. So unfortunately,
Another one bites the dust.
Is that-
another good African leader bites the dust?
I mean, was that the only only nation leader in the world who was openly saying
No,
this is?
no. Obviously, there was the dude from Belarus, Madagascar.
Yeah, we don't hear anything about him. What's going on there?
Well, George Soros funded a colour revolution to overthrow him. He'd been in power for 25 years. I'd never heard about a problem with Belarus's leader until he said, "We are not doing."
Oh,
COVID."
Lance, look at this.
Oh dear, what's this?
It says it's got the headline. Oh, wait, fucking, there we go. Set to be the president of Tanzania until 2025.
Oh, what a surprise!
What a surprise!
Good find. This is why I need you on the Jamie. Keep me away from that mouse. Keep me away from it.
So, like we said earlier, the World Bank document said it's going to end in 2025.
Just a coincidence, comrades. Nothing to see here. Please move along, ignorant peasants. Nothing to see here.
Come on.
Big up Clara Warren. You never sent me money for those 2 T-shirts. Andy PG's wearing your medium
Yep,
red.
got it on.
There's I've still got one medium red for you, Clara. If you want the T-shirt, please send me the WhatsApp. PayPal. Right, back to our slideshow. What we got next?
1 second.
And we will get down to our Antarctica soon, guys. I just had to speak about what's going on this week.
Yeah.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Right. So we're
Have
at project.
we got Magics? I think.
Yeah. Can we? I've sent him the link. Magix.
He said he's listening. Magix.
Can we assemble the team? Where's Word Nerd? Where's Magix?
I think Magix has got probably the most to input on this because
Right. Well, let's start with the facts, right? Let's start with the official story of what Antarctica is. Okay, so I'd like you to Jamie this and get a little search up because Antarctica. What are the official facts? And we need
it's a big
place,
load of ice, mate.
right? And we also need to have a look at the map of some of the places of what they're called in Antarctica. Start getting a feel for the backstory here. Right. So,
Straight out of Wiki, guys.
Oh, look. Yes.
Okay.
Here we go. Welcome.
We've just had
just-
Admiral Bird
At
Nerd.
just the right time he appears. Here he is.
Good evening, Admiral Bird Nerd.
Admiral Bird Nerd, how you doing?
Good
We can't
evening,
hear you,
everyone.
There we go. There he is.
Sounding good, mate. Mate, you've
Hear me
dropped in
now?
at just the right time. We're just starting to talk about Operation Antarctica. I love the get up. Let's have a look at Word Nerd's get up. What's he got on this week? Oh, he's got, yes, he's got the
Yes,
whole
mate.
Explorer get up.
The
That's what I'm
pearls.
talking about. Right,
That's
so
it.
Word Nerd, if I'm right in thinking, you've been digging into what is called Operation High Jump. Yeah?
I've been digging on Bird generally. So I
Okay,
haven't-
Admiral Byrd, for anyone that doesn't
Yeah.
know, is a post-World War II American general, or admiral, sorry, who was in charge of Operation High Jump. Right, now Andy's going to get it up on the screen. Give us a little synopsis about what you know about Operation High Jump, mate.
Actually, I haven't gone that far in on the high jump itself. High jump was the second exploration.
I mean, I think
The first-
all of our viewers are going to be pretty up to date with high jumps. Just give a quick overview, Word Nerd, mate.
High jump. High jump was between 1946 and 1947. So high jump was after the Second World War. But interestingly, when I was digging on Bird, the more interesting stuff was a lot of the stuff before that. He was in the
Okay, give
Navy
us a background
from,
to this guy.
Okay, so quick synopsis. Bird nerd facts. He was born in 25th of October in 1888, and by the age of 24 in 1912, he was a graduate of the US Naval Academy. In the 1920s, he was actually instrumental in establishing a bill at Capitol Hill for the Bureau of Aeronautics, as it was to become called, for the US Navy.
Right,
This is all
okay.
in the 1920s. 1926 first expedition to the North Pole, although it's disputed if he was indeed the first person, but there's no doubt that he went. 1927 first multi-engine flight, and by 1928 he was already writing his first book called Skyward. So in 1928 is where it gets interesting. That was the first expedition to the Antarctic on the flagship ship, which was called the City of New York. But this ship was actually called the Samson before, which on another dig is rumored to have been around when the Titanic went down.
Oh,
And then they
interesting.
renamed
Thing
it.
there.
So there's an interesting thing that, his history is even more interesting. In 1934, there was the second Antarctic expedition. They were doing live radio transmissions from Antarctica and then broadcasting across the whole of the continental United States in 1928.
Wait a minute, hold on. Broadcasting from
Yeah, they were doing
Antarctica.
live radio transmissions from Antarctica, according to, and this was a mainstream guy from the National Science Foundation. That's the source for that, called Guy Guthridge, who was doing a talk praising Admiral Byrd and his achievements. And they said that this was in 1928, live radio transmissions from Antarctica, and they broadcast that across the states, which I thought was
Wow.
kind of amazing. I didn't know they were doing that early on. He's got a Navy cargo ship, a guided missile destroyer, and a lunar crater named after him. So there's that.
Old after
he was
Admiral
on-
Byrd.
After Admiral Byrd, yeah. Or sorry, not to forget the Byrd Polar Research Center of Ohio State. Have you still got me?
Yes, absolutely.
that's
We're just getting a map up of Antarctica.
We've just had a little bit of denying force, actually.
Yeah, little tweak though. It's the longest I've talked for ages. That's why.
fine, mate.
So the Byrd Polar Research Center in Ohio State is still one of the pioneering research centers for the Antarctic. But the most interesting stuff about him is his ancestry. So he goes back. You can trace his ancestry back to 1688, and they were all not only really wealthy families, but when they came over to America, they were property owners on the James River in Virginia, and then they owned a plantation. And then one of the Byrds, William Byrd I, went on to found the city of Richmond. So quite a lot of influence historically. This is before we even get to him being a Freemason. This might even explain why he was a Freemason. He was very well connected. And this is all mainstream.
Right. Okay.
So his family married into the Flood family, which I was going to ask Magix about, another wealthy family. And that was in
So he's not just no
1944.
normal admiral, mate. He's not a normal admiral. He's got a proper like esteemed background in the aristocracy, in traveling the world. Right. The reason what we're just trying to rabbit hole is look at this map of Antarctica. This is what gets
This
me.
is just on Google Maps.
There's literally Rothschild Island, yeah. And
Right.
Rothschild Island is almost at the entrance as you come down.
next door to Alexander Island, which is a lot bigger. I wonder who Alexander is.
Yeah, right. Sorry, carry on, Admiral Byrd Nerd.
Yeah, when Byrd was exploring, he actually named one of the Birdland. I've forgotten what they called it. Something named after him, but he named it after his wife that he met, which is interesting. They seem to do that a lot, the elites, because Monsanto is actually named for a Miss Monsanto that the guy fell in love with. That was a woman called Mrs. Monsanto. That was her surname. Anyway.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I found that on the dig for Bill Gates last week, and I didn't know that. But he fell in love with a Mrs. Monsanto, or a Miss Monsanto.
Lots of overlapping information.
Yeah, so I went
Again, guys, there are no coincidences.
There are no coincidences.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The interesting thing is because a lot of the things I tried to rabbit hole on, the exciting things, didn't lead to much. So not that I don't think there's anything to look at there, but I think Bird's a bit of a distraction there potentially. I couldn't find
think
anything.
The whole story might be a bit of a distraction.
Well, the diary entry that supposedly where he says that there's a green land in the Antarctic is very shaky. It's not and correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't had loads of time. My keyboard's broken. Research is slow on this end. So I want anyone to correct me. I want to be the last one to debunk it, but it looks like a very shaky guy who claims to have, it doesn't even present any evidence he even knew Byrd, producing this diary entry. There's nothing in Bird's diary entries, although I haven't read them, ostensibly, that it's talking about UFOs. And the UFO quote was based on a comment he made about ships being able to go pole to pole. But that is one quote from one Chilean newspaper from one reporter, and if that one line is misquoted, it changes the whole context of the phrase. So that was disappointing because I was hoping for alien there. So it might have to go down another route for that. But what's not denied is that he was this incredibly powerful guy. He was very influential, writing letters to Roosevelt. He would send apples to celebrities, and he was known to be friends with all of the industrialists.
So he's an elitist. He's an elitist.
Yeah, and he was the first guy there, and he did say that there was going to be a huge military importance in the Antarctic. He said that was inevitable. He said it's strategically important, and he was saying that leading up to World War II, that we've got to have a military presence there. He said there was a reservoir of untapped resources, including coal, enough to supply the world for some time, oil, and even uranium. But he didn't want to say too much because he didn't want to encourage a race. But he said it was inevitable that there was going to be a rush on Antarctica. So that's interesting because it looks like he's going to scout it, in essence, potentially for the industrialists. He was the first man to go and check it out for them. So that was interesting. But honestly, there's you could do almost, I don't think it would be worth it, but you could almost do a whole episode on Byrd. I've got a ton of notes here on his ancestry.
This is what everybody knows. This is the story that everybody knows about Antarctica. Well, this guy went there with what was apparently an exploratory mission, but it was actually quite clearly a military mission. It had frigates, platoons of soldiers, and this was after World War II had finished there. So look at some of these pictures we got here. This is the kind of sort of, no, that's a Nazi thing. So the backstory is that what were they going there for, and why did they come back? Because the expedition ended very quickly. This is Admiral Byrd's own word. They found an opposing force there that was apparently, am I paraphrasing? They were technologically advanced. This is what Admiral Byrd said. And we basically had to retreat. Yeah. So, so this is an Amazon. Is this a documentary?
Well, they're quite open about this. I mean, Joe Rogan talks about Admiral Byrd quite a lot, doesn't he? I mean, this is very mainstream. So
that's why we wonder if it is a cover story
or just a diversion. Again, they like to give us just a little bit of info, the truth, don't they? And then just, the rest.
The truth is shit. Sorry. Yeah, and it's definitely like the truth is rooted there. He definitely went. There was definitely almost like an arms race to Antarctica. We know that the Nazis went, although I haven't dug on the extent of the Nazi operations. But there was definitely a rush on Antarctica. He did say there was undiscovered land, and the Operation High Jump was a private expedition, which I didn't know. They've really publicised it as this big public expedition.
It was a private expedition.
Yeah, who financed it?
And I don't know who financed it, but what I do know is Byrd was retired from the active duty from the Navy, I think due to his ankles, but then they brought him in as retired from active duty, but then they brought him in to lead one of the operations. And that sounds like, I'm not an expert, a way the military can move people around. So he's officially retired, but then he's able to come back as a retired admiral and lead this fleet. And it was a private expedition.
Good evening, Magix, in the chat.
Good evening, Magix. Good evening, Milski Van Helsing. He's saying, talk about the Piri Reis map. Don't worry.
It's all
Magix is coming with the maps. We've got another section coming up. Right now, we've got Word Nerd, aka Admiral Byrd Nerd. He's given us a bit of extra information about this very famous Operation High Jump, this military exploration expedition to Antarctica after World War II in the mid to late 50s, which is quite famous. And Admiral Byrd, if anyone, I mean, I'm not going to play it now because I don't want a copyright strike. The interview, he says, we went there, we encountered an opposing force. And well, who was the opposing force? Who's in Antarctica? Who lives there? Who's got a military in Antarctica?
You know who with the moustache?
Well, not officially. There's officially no one in Antarctica.
No, it's just science people, and people observatories. And
Big up everybody in the chat room. Let's have a look at some of the comments. Let's have a little go back on some of the comments. Big up Inner Guardians. Have you got any thoughts on what we said so far on the on this official story of this Operation High Jump? I mean, do you buy this, or do you think it's some sort of opposing force?
Here we go.
Illusion?
Sorry to butt in. Sorry, guys. Woke Realist has got a good comment here. Show the video where he went on TV saying more land. All of a sudden, the treaty was made.
Right, you Jamie, that one. Inner Guardians.
Is that when Admiral Byrd said there was like a land beyond the
whole
land,
continent,
and then all of a sudden they made the treaty so no one can go there? Is that what?
He said there was an unexplored area of Antarctica, I think, beyond it, that was as large as the Americas, that was unexplored, and it was just baffling to him that hadn't been explored yet, and it was probably full of resources. Yeah, and that's where a lot of the quotes are being taken from. But he didn't necessarily say Greenland. Go on, Lee.
No, I was just going to say that's my understanding of the research I've done on Admiral Byrd. There's a video of him, although it's not as easy to get hold of because there used to be loads of videos of that interview.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we might have found one here.
That's interesting because I thought it seems like we've only got the first 5 minutes, and the first 5 minutes are really powerful. That's when he's quite excited and he's talking about how important it's going to be, how all the industrial powers should be clambering to go there. But then I can't find the rest of the interview, or I haven't been able to in the 2 days I've been looking at it.
Right, we found something. One sec. Let's see what we got here.
I'm not going to play too much at a time because we're not a copyright strike here.
It's time for the Longines Chronoscope. Co-editors for this edition of the Longines Chronoscope. Larry Lasser, CBS News correspondent.
United States that's never been seen by a human being.
Here we go.
This is it.
But strangely enough, there's left in the world...
Is there any unexplored land on the North American continent? He made that first discovery flight, and I must say that Admiral Byrd, our guest tonight, is not only our greatest living explorer, but he's been an inspiration to countless Americans.
Just pause it there for a few seconds, guys.
So this is the original interview when he's come back from Operation High Jump, and this was his official debriefing to the public. Yeah, let's get it right.
Yeah. So this was obviously staged, and they had a script. Obviously this was deliberately staged. Look, I'm not sure. I think this is obviously what's just been presented to the public, isn't it?
I would say so.
Yeah, so I'll just
Unexplored land left. Byrd, our guest tonight, is not only our greatest living explorer, but he's been an inspiration to countless Americans. Admiral Byrd, you've been to both the North Pole and the South Pole. Is there any unexplored land left on this earth that might appeal to adventurous young Americans?
Yes, there is. And not up around the North Pole, because it's getting crowded up there now, because they find out it's really usable, not only to live in, but militarily. But strangely enough, there's left in the world today.
So he says yes.
The North. Well, he says the North Pole's full.
Yeah,
but yes,
crowded,
there is
getting crowded in the North Pole. A lot of penguins, guys.
An area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole on the other side of the South Pole from Middle America. And I think it's quite astonishing that there should be an area as big as that unexplored.
Listen.
So what you're saying is there's an area the size of North America unexplored.
But we're led to believe in official history that's just one massive ice sheet. So why would you bother to explore it if it's just ice, right?
Well, he hasn't actually said it's land, though, has he? He said there's an area.
Yeah. But
he did say they asked him, is there any areas of land which is left to explore? And he said yes. Yeah. So he said so he's not. So let's just continue to see what he says.
It's a tremendous.
So there's a lot of adventure left down at the bottom of the world.
Well, Admiral, do you hope to see that?
I do.
Well, Admiral, would you say that since you've been to both the extremities of Earth, are these expeditions to such far-off places, are they getting easier because of modern techniques, or is danger still close at hand?
Well, it's a little risky, but nothing like it used to be with the old slow planes and the small cruising radius where we had.
So, guys, sorry, I have to keep stopping now, otherwise, I'm going to get a copyright strike.
It seems very scripted to me,
I mean, he's a top Mason though as well, Freemason.
as you would expect.
Put down
Yeah, it's worth having a look at his grave.
we replaced the dog team.
What was that word, man?
He had a grave which was, I think, paid for by the government with an upside down star on it. And then he also had a memorial built in the shape of a pyramid for him after his death. So his gravestone and the memorial, yeah, heavy Mason symbology, but it's difficult where to place it with the time. But yeah, it's definitely a very
So
high level
the
Mason.
mark of the dark occultist is built into his legacy, basically.
And of
I
course,
don't know much about the Masons of the time, but I would imagine so.
But now the planes go much faster and they are safer and they have a much bigger cruising radius. You haven't got the danger of a terribly heavy load.
Admiral, an expedition to which I believe you're the advisor is now en route. What is that expedition doing?
Well, that's the icebreaker Atka, and it's a reconnaissance expedition. It's going down to the South Pole area.
So they're talking about an ice-breaking ship, yeah, big, huge ice-breaking boat which can go through. Doesn't matter if there's like big chunks of ice, you can just plow through it.
Yeah, to make certain observations and to look for some bases. They will be back in April, and they will report back. And upon the information we get from that undertaking, we will base the bigger expedition that's to follow.
Is that very definitely planned, or is that...
that is being planned right now. So I'm willing to say to you that there will be a number of expeditions that will follow, I think, year after year.
They will follow, a number of expeditions that have been going on every year since this
That's
happened.
it. World War II got in the way of that, supposedly. But that's where it gets interesting. He is the setup before World War II, and that's when these expeditions, they said they were going to be permanent, just all wrapped up because of World War II. But obviously then we have evidence of the Nazis jumping over. So it's interesting crossover.
Maybe it was something to do with a race to get to what was in Antarctica, or to use Antarctica as an escape.
We'll come to that later.
Remember, we have another view about this, about Antarctica, from the one and only Godvag.
Yeah, absolutely.
We will be dropping the Godvag, the Godvag view very soon, because we've got to have all different elements of this story. Remember,
absolutely.
Because the government has really become interested.
Well, Admiral Byrd, I can understand. I think everybody can, the interest in the North Pole, because it's so near our greatest challenger, Soviet Russia. But why this interest in the bottom of the world? Nobody lives.
Lance has just pointed out how big Admiral Byrd's head
it wasn't me. It was 08.
Oh, sorry, beg your pardon.
Look at the question. Right, Inner Guardians, there's a question here for you on the screen. He says, ask Inner Guardians if Admiral Byrd's giant skull is because he has immense psychic power, or is he just an alien hybrid?
Wow.
Look at that. Rewind a little bit. His skull is massive. What's it called? Homo capensis, with the big skulls. That's what they're actually called. He does look a bit Homo capensis.
Look at
I was just looking at that, actually.
Did you notice that, Lee?
Yeah.
Oh, Omar Beach is just chiming in, says it could be the camera angle.
Well, let it play. Turn the volume off and let it play.
The world. Nobody living down there, is there?
No, it's...
So, Inner Guardians, you said you've had this thought as well?
Yeah, I mean, it does look a bit strange, but yeah, it's difficult to tell with the quality of the camera.
A bit like the T-Foul man with the huge head.
Yeah, I mean that
shot of him there makes him look like he has got a long shape head, slightly different to a human skull shape.
It does. Well, yeah.
It might, but that could be his 50s haircut though.
Maybe he's just very clever and he has actually got a massive head.
T-Foul.
Good spot anyway. 04 Dragon. Let's turn that back up. All right.
It has to do with the future of the nation, those to come after us, or even during your lifetime, because it happens to be an untouched reservoir of natural resources. And, as the world swings with an ever-increasing acceleration, far-flung places once useless, like we thought the North Pole was, and no man's land, become very useful. The bottom of the world will be important, not only to us, but to our allies.
I was going to add.
See what he said there? The bottom of the world will become important, not only to us but also to our allies. What does that really mean? Because when you're speaking from America, back then America doesn't speak and our allies. It's just like America first. It would be, we're obviously number one in the world. America, fuck yeah, and all that. It seems a bit strange that he says and our allies.
Who are the allies?
Yeah.
He was trying to create the Atlantic Treaty. He was quite pioneering in that. So I think
Sorry, what's that word?
Sorry, he was quite pioneering in the formation of the Atlantic Treaty. One thing I didn't mention earlier, his brother, because when they married into the Flood family, he had a brother called Harry Flood, who was a senator in Virginia and an internationalist. And he was instrumental in helping Byrd get a lot of these, and quite open about it, getting these things through the Senate and stuff like that. So I think he was instrumental, Byrd and a few others, because he was known, even the mainstream historians say, he had a massive amount of influence over the industrialists. He would write to them letters. He would send them apples, because one of their old family lines had an apple company, and he would write them hand-typed letters. And he had a amount of influence on them. When they couldn't get the money to do the Operation High Jump, they ended up fundraising 300,000 back then in 3 or 4 days, because Admiral Byrd started hitting the phones and calling all his friends. So huge amount of influence. He was using that internationally while making friends with policy decision makers to try and form this Atlantic Treaty, as I understand it anyway. That's what he was trying to do. So he was quite instrumental in that. So the Allies speech, he talks a lot about uniting for peace in there. So whatever his trip was, it was a big part of his selling point.
Mate, so you've had a serious dig into this guy, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, the mainstream stuff was a bit more fascinating than the other stuff I couldn't hang any evidence on, although I'm going to go down those paths as well.
I think there's a lot more than meets the eye to this guy. He's not just an admiral that was sent there. The more you're telling me, it's like he just seems like one of these characters that's inserted into the narrative to play the role.
Yeah, I mean, still an explorer. There's no doubt that he did these things.
He was still an explorer, yeah. Sir Francis Bacon and all those people, they were explorers too. Yeah. Some of the most influential cabal, or whatever you want to call it, Illuminati characters throughout history. Sir Francis Bacon, Cortez, Columbus. This is basically a Columbus character, yeah?
Yeah, first one there, the pioneer, yeah.
I don't know if you remember what I mentioned last week about the people that have aimed at the horizontalists. Yeah, horizontalists. Yeah, so they tend to have a desire to explore, so that they can obviously capture as much land as possible.
But explore the outer rather than explore within.
Yeah, but also they explore like in the 3D realm.
Physical.
3D explorers.
Yeah, they're land grabbing.
It's essentially reptilian.
Yeah.
In our complex. Stuck in our complex, the brain just hoarding.
Yeah, I mean, my take on the whole thing is a little bit, maybe slightly different with regards to what Antarctica actually is, but I'm going to sit back a little bit and...
please don't hold back, because, mate, Lee, last week we hoarded you right until the last hour, so please don't hold back. Let's mix the show up and let's not be too formulaic, because in a minute I'm going to show Godvag and he's got a whole nother take. What is your take on Antarctica?
Well, I'm into first principles, so I would want to establish the first principles as to, what is it? What is the landscape of Antarctica? Not necessarily what's there, but does it surround us? Is it at the bottom?
Well, that's the thing. That I think that's the big question that everyone is sort of wanting us to get to. And let's just share that screen again, Angie PG. We've got Google Maps up here. We're zooming in on Rothschild Island because it's interesting that there's somewhere called Rothschild Island. Everyone knows, there's also a place called New Swabia.
Swabia.
And we couldn't find it on the map. I know it's there. We could find it in a minute. When we get the next little Oma Beat set, we'll do some more. We'll get some more Jamie in on the screen. But yeah, so what you're saying in The Guardian, first principles, what is Antarctica? What is the shape of it? This is the official shape. Okay.
Well, the problem we've got is, what tools do we actually have or possess to establish what shape it is?
Precisely.
According to this, it's right next to Australia. I had no idea until I did this dig this week that Argentina and the Falklands Islands, we're going to be coming on to this.
Oh, yeah, I've got some great info on the Falklands and what it was actually being used for.
Yeah.
The Falklands War, what it was actually being used for.
Yeah. So the producer's telling me that because we've got the special luxury of Oma Beats in the studio, It's time for a break because we're coming up to the first hour. We've got a lot to explore tonight. We're going to take it nice and easy. Hang tight, everyone in the chat room. Let's have some more music. Live in the studio, Oma Beats in the mix. If you're lucky, I might get on the mic in a minute. Who knows? Right, big up everyone. Hang tight, everyone in the chat room. It's the first hour of Rise Above. We're going until midnight tonight. Oh, have I put him on the spot? In the Guardians, what is Antarctica?
Good question. I mean, I've got my personal opinions from the research I've done, but I've never actually been there.
Can we hear your personal opinions in the Guardian? I'd be very interested to hear them.
Look, this is the loop. Why don't you put left?
Well, I'm more inclined to go with the barrier theory, and I think this is very largely linked to what's happening right now, because those of the horizontal persuasion, they want to.
I love that.
Well, they're all about, it's all about control. It's all about penning people in, restricting access. Personally, I think that there is lands that we don't know about, and they're trying to hide that.
Outside of our realm, yeah?
Yeah, I'm very skeptical about the whole sort of geographical landscape that we're shown in the mainstream. Like I say, I question everything.
We are too. So's Godvaj.
Yeah.
So, guys, big up Inner Guardians. Big up in Admiral Bird Nerd. Magix, we know you there in the wings. Right about now, we are going to have another little intersection of Mr. Oma Beats. We're going to have a little break, 10-15 minutes, and then we'll be back with more Operation Antarctica. It's Friday night, it's Rise Above. Oma Beats on the decks. Spin it, brother.
Here we go. This one's compliments of Magix.
Yo, 1, 2. Yeah. Friday night, Rise Above. Yo, listen. Friday night is Rise Above. Rise Above, MC Double L, Rise Above, Oma Beats, Rise Above, extinguish fear when we generate. Rise Above, MC Double L, Rise Above, Oma Beats, Rise Above, extinguish fear when we generate love. 32's on the hook, write lyrics, I write books. 32's on the hook, I write lyrics, I write books. I ask questions that are the deepest. What is a religious extremist? A terrorist with a Wahhabi thesis? Yo. I ask questions that are the deepest. What is a religious extremist? A terrorist with a Wahhabi thesis? Pedo priest that are praying to Jesus, a rabbi circumcising a penis, gesturing God, acting fiendish, lecturing most back, who are the cleanest, claiming we're equal, acting elitist. Listen up, there's lies in this sermon. Why is that? Your liquor is vermin. It's not hard to determine. Rise up and be wise like a serpent. Don't prey on the saviour's serpents. They're peddling burden. Indoctrination is different to learning. Yo, on my beats, spin it. Big up all the Rise Above crew. This is how we do it. For your whole life, you have been flooded by the music and the vibrations. Dark occultists. We are light occultists. Yeah. Yo, enter my crater. Double L, I'm a big creator. Are you a reactor or a creator? I'm coming yo live from the crater. Bigger, louder, better. Yo, it's Double L, you've heard of me. The flow's poisonous liquid mercury. Hear my voice when I curse the beat, and it moistened up and it surgery. Guilty as charged, repeat offender. Revealing elitist agenda. To the lodge, delete the data. Success or defeat, or retreat or surrender. And I can't let go. A killer's artist Charlie Hebdo. A false flag with axes in tow, and they blame Islam for the media show. 2 weeks later, Copenhagen couldn't be blamed to these global pagans. These traitors feed off people hating. Nothing's changing. Guilty as charged, repeat offense. Once again, my ass is back on the bench. Oma Beats. Yo, please step back 2 meters while the camera scanning your facial features. Says warning, spatial breaches. Listen to the government speeches. Daily releases, you can't chill at the parks and the beaches. Essential travel, they police it. We know the rules, they to repeat it. Is this about a virus? Is it a plot? What to control and divide us? Is it a problem, reaction, solution? A manufactured crisis? Depopulate body baggers, biometric ID taggers, Gates Foundation, vax apparatus, stinging newborn skin like a cactus. Big up all the Rise Above family. We just freestyling on a Friday night. Oma Beats, Double LMC. Whoa. Yeah. Big up all the Rise Above family. Like a cultist. Yo, on the beats of Double L. They're like, why so serious? Why so serious? Yo, Double L. Listen. They're like, Double L, why so serious? Well, it leaves me delirious. Psychic warfare and covert attacks infect my brain, install a fear in us. Enough of the agenda, we'll run, remember? Cradle to grave. Yo, listen. Brothers, sisters, join the resistance. This is big, we need the assistance. Hard work and a lot of persistence. Stop their plans, gonna end our existence. Throw a spanner in the works. Tell the people, fuck what you've heard. Exposing the names of the snakes that lurk. I'm killing 2 stones with 1 bird. Or 2 birds with 1 stone. Flipped it around and I made it my own. I'm exposing things that were once unknown. Once you know this shit, you can't leave it alone. It's the age of information. Info spreads like an infestation. Whether you're consciously waking or sitting back with some high grade blazing, or fresh than before, so blessed. Better reach for the core, no stress. Put the foot to the floor. On my beats, settle the score, never acquiesce. Break from the source, unique with a natural force. So sleep, no time for a pause. Time for a round of applause. Stop, freeze, pause. Hold up your hands if you're down for the cause. Face, breaks, jaws. Hit the floor, get down on all fours. We rewrite laws. Spit it that sound back, wait for applause. Styles come forth. Rise above, let me hear your thoughts. Rise above, let me hear your thoughts. Rise above, let me hear your thoughts. That's right, cause Double L from the land of the lost. Double L from the land of the lost. And bust the mic, just because. It's been a long time, guys. I saw everybody tuned in. I'm a beast. You spin some more beats. I'm gonna take a little break. We'll be back in a minute. Okay. All right then. More bars. What's going on then? Corona, the crown. Yo, the crown of your highness. Corona, the crown of your highness. Or the molecule. Yo, Corona, the crown of your highness. Or the molecule inside your sinus. This ain't Wuhan bronchitis. Is the act. Yo, Corona, the crown of your highness. Or the molecule inside your sinus. This ain't Wuhan bronchitis. It's the act of some medical mafia pirates. 3 million came from Obama. Dr. Fauci through Big Pharma. Move it to Wuhan, ring the alarm. It's our virus, bruv, that's karma. Bill Gates made a prediction. Event 201 is not a fiction. He said 66 million die of corona affliction. Let me spit vocal wisdom. Nothing social but a social distance. Minds are locked in mental prisons. I hope their sentence lessons. They program fear. We shine a torch on the program here. The view from my courts, the program's clear. 2030's 10 more years. UN wrote the agenda of one world government. Epicentric, you're stolen, you're holding, you're saying in a blender. Double L's real, I'm not a pretender. I've studied their methods. 20 years with my head in the records. 20 years of it closely observing. Yeah, and observing. 20 years when my head's in the ground. Sound predictions are made. This time around, bruv, and my mind never swayed. We've been waiting for this day. Yeah, everyone get a drink. We'll be back in a minute. Forms red mud, are you feeling the hurt when the carnage occurs? We let the demon speak and then hang on his words. Mesmerized by the evil inside, hypnotizing all people alive, energizing the feeble demise. Life in the dungeon extremely deprived, and it's dark in this dungeon. Around every corner the evil's abundant. Hope is redundant. Treacherous beings, they spread the dysfunction, they feed on your soul.
Michael.
Quite a big week for the occult.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We forgot about this. So Evelyn de Rothschild, scion. I love that word. Scion of banking dynasty.
He's the famous one that was the famous picture of him poking sausage fingers in the chest, right?
I believe this is the sausage fingers poker, the poker of the prince. It was either him or Jacob. I think the story goes that Evelyn, or Sir Evelyn, was not like a big protege in his early life, and then he sort of took the role up. Whereas like Jacob was a staunch Rothschild from birth. He came out of the womb doing Babylonian money magic. It came to him naturally. Okay, so this Shane Catamol guy, who's quite good with this gematria on Facebook. He's like, 91 must be a special number to them. Rothschild family is 91 in reverse gematria. Evelyn de Rothschild is 91 in full reduction gematria. Quite a few other people died. This is around a blood moon, okay? So we're going to have a little talk about this. Because how old was the Queen when she died? 91, yeah?
91.
We covered all the 91s that happened around that.
Yeah.
COVID-19, backwards is Divot what? 91.
91.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So let me skip ahead. This is a headline from the 7th of November, what day was that? Tuesday. It was the day before he died. An ultra rare lunar eclipse tomorrow, November the 8th, could cause disruptions in your life and finances.
How's about that then?
How's about that then? So Evelyn Albert Adrian de Rothschild, FKC, was a British financier. So the Daily Mail did an article about ultra rare super blood moon could disrupt people's finances. Then the day of the blood moon, Evelyn Rothschild, British financier, dies.
Just a coincidence.
Just a coincidence. The same person posted this. Did you know there's an 11-year solar cycle, which I guess ended on this day as well with this blood moon?
This is the first I've heard of it.
Do you know what it's called, this cycle?
Is it the Schwab cycle?
It's the Schwab cycle.
Of course it is.
Yeah, of course it is. And I don't know if it's on this little thing here, but I looked and there was a larger cycle, which was like 60 years or something. And that was called, no, it was called a Saros cycle. It looked like Soros. So there's like a Schwab cycle and a Soros cycle, right? But it gets better because when you really think about it and you break it down, what is the meaning of the word Rothschild? Now, I thought it meant red shield.
That's what I thought.
Rothschild's German pronunciation, I don't know what that is in German, is a name derived from the German zum Roten Schild, with the old spelling meaning with the red sign, in reference to the houses where these family members lived or had lived. So they'd live in like red houses.
Right.
Red sign, red shield.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So what is a blood moon? It's
a red
big red sign. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, just like Rise Above. Yeah, nice one, Ratender.
Big up Ratender.
Big up Ratender in the corner. Mate, you can go and sit on the chair over there. There is a mic, you know. Oh, he's comfy there. So just some other bits and pieces. And I did nick this from someone. I think it was from Low Blossom. The Great Financial Replacement is America adopting a new currency. And these are all the articles from the same day. The sooner the average American familiarizes themselves with central bank digital currencies, you can see what's coming here. So it's like a leading Rothschild dies on a blood moon, just as basically we could say the Rothschild banking system is coming to an end because like the CBDC stuff doesn't seem to have their name all over it.
Yeah.
Whether it's, new generations doing the same thing, which it obviously is.
Like a transition from one old.
Yeah. Your dynasty did that trick, the gold to paper trick. Now we'll do the paper to digital trick.
The old money to the new.
Yeah. What's crazy is that tomorrow, November the 5th, 2022. Oh yeah, this week is also the 1 year anniversary of Travis Scott.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Travis Scott, that was, I think, give or take a few days, that was also around the blood moon.
Shit, that's been a year already. Christ.
Yeah. Because in these cycles, these yearly and lunar cycles, you know, that you go 1 year and it's at a couple of days. So, you know, 8th, 5th, doesn't really matter. It's around the moon.
Yeah.
Definitely around the moon.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'll save that. Right. Yeah, that's the chat for now. I'll save those subjects for the next break.
Interesting.
But yeah, so it's been quite a big week, I feel, like energy wise. There's certainly been like a lot going on. Clan World has definitely stepped up.
Yeah.
No two ways about it.
Don't believe me? Don't believe me? Don't believe me? Go study history. Go study history. Politicians, professors, and scientists, controlled by some Ryanists. Through 2 world wars, they've been trying it. Corporate investment, no matter who the finalists. Don't believe me? Go study history. Check the activity of bloodline dynasty. Sumer, Egypt, and Rome. Consistently pan-European imperial misery. World conflicts enact social change, so they want it. But we must abstain, acquiesce, and you're in for a world of pain. A workhouse where you dream of a minimum wage. That's the plan, but it's closer than you think. We'd be there now if it wasn't for the cosmic shift. They're panicking, the game is up. It's all illusion, the only truth is love. Don't believe me? Don't believe me? This goes deep cause they rewrote the history books. You can't quote how the real history looks. Empires thrive from the lands they took. We're in the same boat, it's kept afloat by crooks. Been the same way for more than 1,000 years. There's no love here, all you're allowed is fear. Break through the clouds so the sky is clear. Satanic whispers hidden in the sounds of prayers. Dark suits, cold hearts, no empathy. Fill positions of power in our embassy. Stone circles and burning effigies. Chanting mantras to bring forth energies. Secret meetings that map out our destinies. Hooded figures, manifest entities. Pollute our minds so we got no memory. For centuries helplessly trapped by the treachery. Don't believe me? Obelisks and illuminated torches. Landmarks of malevolent forces. Sorcerers aim to contain your mind state. Open your eyes where you're already blind, mate. You want the truth, better ask and why. Your worldview got squeezed through a needle's eye, and here's the proof. They extinguish lives. Conflicts built on evil lies, no surprise. We don't know of no agenda. Disguised from the light from the moment you enter. Survival of flight, you're a lifelong member. That's right, since they sliced the placenta. Now, welcome to the slave race. Very few will ever find out how the game's played. Unless you wake up, keep on playing it. They look at me and think, why is he saying it? Don't believe me? Don't believe me? Don't believe me? Go study. Don't believe me? Go study history. Go study history.
Yes, welcome back, you steaming pile of pheasants.
To me as you come.
Welcome back, Andy PG.
Evening, crater-dwelling peasantry.
You bunch of pleasants. I've been building up to this all week. We've shown metaphysical personal protection. I'm going to invite him on because I don't need to do the intro for him. Inner Guardians, Inner Guardians, Inner Guardians.
Salutations, everybody.
Yes, it's working. Salutations.
There you go.
Right, we got there right in the last minute, Lee. Right at the last minute.
We literally got the connection at 8:59.
We tried everything.
Yeah.
Everything wasn't working. Now it is. So
we RAS at everything.
the big build-up, mate. I've been gassing about this for 2 weeks. I've laid the yellow brick road to this presentation. You've called it the final presentation, right?
Yeah. It could be the final presentation ever, or it could be the final presentation before Ra Treat.
The last, when in our conversation, you said let's call it the final solution. I was like, mate, I'd love. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to, but I think the thumbnail would probably get Al Gore censored. Okay, so let me know. I've got your presentation ready to go with the slideshow, and I've also got my hand on the button for the 4 videos which you've sent me.
Sure.
Okay, so just let me know. I'm going to hand over to you now. This is your time. We're going to do our best not to interrupt. If you want us to get involved, let us know. And just tell me when you want me to play any of the videos or start the slideshow, mate.
Okay, well, just before we start, literally, we've got innerguardians.com. It's up and running. So we've got the website.
Boom.
So, yeah, I don't know if you want to share the link, anybody out there.
Sam
So
Carno,
Sam
can we
Carno,
get that
can you
up?
get on that, please? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is a landing page at the moment, but we wanted to get it done in time for tonight and definitely for Ra Treat. So we will be building upon it. Even as a landing page, it's looking good. So expect great things from that.
Awesome.
Yeah, I just want to thank those who have sort of literally worked. I wouldn't say day and night. It's been today. They've been able to get it done in one day, literally. So it's all good. Now, the preface and the introduction to this presentation is almost as long as the presentation. So, as you can imagine, there's a lot of work gone into this. Now, it's probably only around about 33% of the full presentation. Now, I have kept all of it, so in the future I can do bits and pieces on that. The subjects we're going to cover, basically, it's the subject of existence. So we're going to be asking massive existential questions, and it is about participation. So especially from the Ra team, also everybody in the chat to join in. I will be asking lots of questions in this, and it will probably conjure up more questions than providing answers. But that's not a bad thing. It's just a case of asking the correct questions, high quality, conscious questions. We're at a point now where that's where we need to be. We've kind of done all the groundwork with regards to all of the narratives, all of the mainstream media stories, all of the occultists in dark suits, politicians, mainstream media, all of that. All of the foundations has been laid. Now, it's more of a case that the onus is on us. If you want to call us the truth or freedom movement, the onus is on us to up our game and start asking the correct questions. So I'll kickstart it. We've got a few slides. I've also got a few videos. Now, I've got quite a lot of side notes as well. So I'm going to be kind of going all over the place, but it will all swab together in the end and make a lot of sense. Now, as with geometric shapes, you don't look at them as a stationary object. You have to look at them as though they're moving. So you could say the same with this presentation. You've got to look at this presentation as though it's moving. So it will move around. We'll kind of be jumping all over the place, and it will all sort of come together, hopefully, towards the end when we get towards the solutions. We're going to be going into some very dark subjects, some very light subjects. So hopefully it will all balance out, and it will leave everybody that watches and listens to this show with something to take away, and some inspiration and optimism and options as well, hopefully. Okay, so once again, this presentation, it's not designed to be purely just a presentation to impress based on some kind of research or conjecture about the nature of reality. But more importantly, it's for objective observations that may provoke a deeper level of questions. And it's all about asking a higher quality of existential questions, really. But more importantly, it's about the participation and the immersion in these questions and into the reasons for human existence. But I must just add, it's not all about being in a position of introspection In fact, introspection it definitely works against you if you go into sort of a introspective state or a state of inner considering. It's not about that. It's about being able to ask decent questions from a higher level of consciousness, you could say. So we need to raise our vibration. We need to get rid of the chronic tension. We need to get rid of the distractions. We need to start asking direct questions to ourselves. You could view yourself as some kind of reflector or a mirror. People often say that humanity are transmitters and receivers, which you could actually describe it as that, but we're more, you could say, broken shards of a whole mirror that reflect back to ourselves and to each other. If you go with the theory that we all come from the one, then you could actually describe us as broken shards of that one mirror. Now, at any point, Lance and Andy, and is Omar in the house?
He will be shortly.
He's
yeah.
on his way. Yeah, he's
okay.
going to split our two chunks in half with half an hour of music in between.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm sure at some point he'll want to chime in because we're going to be honest, we're going to be covering so many subjects that there's going to be something for everybody. Now, for some, it may go over your head, but for others, I think it will be exactly what you need right here, right now. And like I said, over the last few years, especially the last 2 years, there has been a massive degree of awareness or awakening, you could say, and it's not being fed. Because we've had to deal with the denying force, we've had to deal with the mainstream media, we've had to deal with all the nonsense of the last 2 years. And at the end of the day, what we're seeking is to make sense and not to be distracted by the nonsense. So hopefully tonight I can bring some sense to the table and we can all have a bit of a feast. Now I need to really preface this presentation with what we would commonly describe as belief systems. Now, it's very important that we start paying attention to what people actually believe in, regardless of as to whether you believe in it or not, or it correlates with your own belief systems. Now, I've often said this, and a lot of people genuinely don't understand it, that until we really understand what the belief system is of the elite or the delete, the politicians, the scientists, the priest class, and all those behind the technology and technocracy and transhumanism, and all of these narratives that have all of a sudden come. I mean, they've been brewing up for a while, but they've literally all come at us at the same time. So we need to kind of get behind the minds of those who are behind the narratives. So I would say that for the most part of this presentation, a lot of it is going to be talking about what do these people or the entities behind these people actually believe in. And that's important.
That sounds good.
The entities behind these people.
What the entities believe in. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Good start.
because for instance, there's a lot of contradictions in all of this, and so even if you take a subject like science, they generally don't all believe in the same thing. So if you just take one subject of, say, disease, with all the different theories that, you know, what is the cause, what is the effect, what is the side effect, and so on and so forth, they don't actually agree. The same with physics, even with something simple like gravity, magnetism, they're not all in agreement. Remember, we only get to hear probably 33%. It will just be the general consensus of a theory that's agreed upon, and then it remains as a kind of pseudo fact until proven otherwise. Now, I think we can all safely say that we've started to see in the media where there's a lot of ship jumping with regards to the narratives. I don't know if everybody else has noticed a lot of, even the mainstream, they're switching or changing the goalposts.
It's starting to be the narrative is starting to be like weaponized for those that want to pretend that they were against it when obviously they were part of it. Yeah, old Slumdog Billionaires has been doing that a lot this week.
Old Liani's been on about him.
Oh, what, Leilani Dowdy?
Yeah.
Big up to her.
Yeah. She's been very vocal
on
about
Iconic
old Rishi.
TV. No, look, in the Guardians, you're absolutely right. The ship jumping has definitely started.
Like Boris as well. He's out, isn't he? Right.
Yeah.
Where the fuck's Whitty? Like, this is just the UK. I don't know what it's like in other countries, but yeah, everyone's just, they're off. Same as Matt Hancock. He got slid off to the background.
Well, I'm predicting that you're going to see a lot of this taking place, especially with all of the narratives from UFOs, transhumanism, technology, all of the mechanisms of control. All they're doing is just passing the baton on and going off to another crater, maybe. If not physically, then metaphysically. Now, I'm going to start with this, talking about belief systems on a very important subject, and it's called ontology. Now, possibly a lot of people may not know what ontology is, but basically it's a branch of metaphysics dealing with the nature of being and reality. You could say consciousness and matter. Okay, so once again, science and physics are not in agreement, and you could more or less break it down into four main schools of thought or branches regarding the study of consciousness and its relationship to matter. I'm sure most people would have heard of the different schools or the branches. So first of all, you've got materialism. Okay, so once again, the reason why I'm going through this is because it's important to get into the minds of those who are pushing these particular agendas. Okay, so you've got materialism, which basically means that matter precedes consciousness. Okay, so everything is matter first, consciousness second, or it may just even stop at materialism. There doesn't really need to be a need for consciousness. The second one is idealism, which is kind of the reverse. So it's consciousness precedes matter. Yeah. So the first one is matter is first, and consciousness is some kind of excretion or byproduct of matter. Okay, so the emphasis is on the material world, not on, say, the consciousness or the spiritual world. Now, just to quickly add to that, pretty much all of the branches of science, they completely ignored consciousness. They really didn't want to go close to it. You could say that a lot of the scientific people, they get scared and they're very wary of what they can't see, and they're particularly interested in what you can physically see and touch. Okay, so going back to idealism, so that you could say that's the polar opposite or reversal of materialism. And then you've got what's known as dualism, which is basically consciousness is both matter and or spirit.
The third option.
Yeah, but it tends to be, so something could actually be only matter and something could be only spirit.
Okay.
And a lot of the time they'll jump from one to the other. So as an example, if you look at an inanimate object like a rock, they would say that that's just matter. It doesn't have any spirit or conscious value to it, including crystals and things like that. But at the same time, they would say that you could have a spirit that doesn't possess a body. It just floats around or whatever, yeah. So they can kind of jump between the two. And then you've got the fourth one, which is it's basically the process. So everything is in between the process of becoming either matter and going towards consciousness, or it's going from consciousness towards matter. So it's in a process of going from one to the other. So once again, it's a kind of type of dualism, but it's so for instance, they may say that a rock at some point in evolution may become conscious, but equally a conscious spirit or person could descend, de-evolve and become a rock. But everything is in a process and bouncing between the two polar opposites of physical matter and invisible substance.
So can I just chime in there, Master Lee, quickly?
Sure.
So Mark Passio, he's talked about this before on his show, that in different points of time, he describes it, and I think it's a good way he describes it, is like a spring that goes up and like curls round. And he says at some points in history and time, consciousness would have been further up the spiral, and at some points in history, it's further down the spiral. It's depending on essentially the peasantry's level of awareness, I guess, in conjunction with governmental tyranny, and if people are just fucking enslaved or not, or in free, like
that
the Renaissance.
That could fall in line with loads of other things like the Kali Yuga cycle,
all of it. Yeah,
the Phoenix procession.
I did think that was a good way of explaining it. Was on like a spiral on a spring where you can just go up and down, up and down. It's depending on which area of time you're.
Or like a pendulum.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, swing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's often used as a good description. So it's like a spiral up, spiral down. So you could say leveling up, leveling down. But it's a kind of a polarity of sorts. So it's traveling from one to the other.
Can I just ask, Marcelly, in your personal opinion, in this spiral that we've just discussed, if it gets to a certain point either way, do you think it's actually possible to come back from that either way, whether it goes too far to the bottom or elevates too much? Do you think that there would be a way to come back?
That's a good question. Now, I must just also, part of the preface is that some of the stuff I talk about, I've got my own opinions, I've got my own belief system, but I'm not here to try and convince anybody of anything in particular.
Sure.
So generally speaking, my take on all of it is that they're all possible. There's evidence for all of these kind of theories, and you can actually pretty much find relatively good working models of all of these 4 branches or theories. And it's quite feasible, and I will move on to this when I talk about the God above gods, regarding what I think and what could be. So I'll answer that further on, possibly.
Okay, cool.
But so it's important for me to communicate that a lot of the stuff I say, I may not actually believe in myself. I'm just expressing and communicating, articulating what the science world will generally go with, potentially. And some scientists will jump ships with regards to these ideas, these theories, but most will generally stick with one. And but what you'll see as we go through the presentation is that what we're witnessing is a play out between these theories for the most part, and it'll make a lot more sense as we push forwards. Okay, so then the 5th one, which is kind of like the rogue in the room. So you've got the 4 main ones, then you've got the 5th one, which is panpsychism. Obviously, with the name of this presentation, panpsychism is I would say is the main theory that they're going to go with regarding the singularity and transhumanism. So what is panpsychism? I'm sure a lot of people have probably Googled it when they've seen the title. It basically means that consciousness and matter equally lives side by side, and it cannot be separated. So you could say how to create something from nothing. So a panpsychist would say, well, how can matter produce consciousness, and how could consciousness produce matter? Because what you're asking is for something to be produced from nothing. And actually, Lance, might be a good time to play that video. The Inner Guardians one from YouTube.
Okay, let me just add that to the mix. I've got that here. 1 sec.
I made this a few months ago, actually, or even last year, and it probably didn't make a lot of sense at the time. But as we move forwards, you'll start to see that it makes a lot of sense. So there's this question of something from nothing. So how do you produce something from nothing? And this is the biggest question that the transhuman agenda has. Because think about it, they're trying to create something from nothing.
Right. Okay.
But not only that, they're trying to create something intelligent from nothing.
Yeah. And it also, and this is kind of one of the positives, I guess. it's not a done deal that they can actually do it. It's literally potentially it's defying all laws of the cosmos to be able to produce something from nothing. But that's their belief. That's their ambition. You could say their ambition is to be a type of god or demigod, to be a creationist, to produce something that doesn't actually exist right now. I would say for the most part, and I've said this before, there is an esoteric exercise where you're asked to draw on a piece of paper a creature that nobody has ever seen before. What generally happens is somebody, when they're asked to do that, they will draw a creature, but it will be something like a zebra's body, giraffe's head, elephant's legs, and crocodile tail.
It's more of a mix of what's already there.
Yeah, so it's a mixture of what
Like a
already
chimera.
exists. Yeah, so there's nothing really new. Now think about it. If I give you a bit of paper now and I ask you to draw something that nobody has ever seen before, could we do it?
I would draw a symbol.
I'd like to think I'd give it a go.
Yeah, I
'Cause
would draw
I've
a
practiced
symbol.
I've practiced the random, like purely from your head doodling, where you try to fill a page with things that are nothing. Before I used to practice that quite a lot, and when you get into that, you can get quite interesting results because things can start to form, and maybe they're figure-like or animal-like, but then they're not, and it turns into a machine and stuff like that. But yeah, again, was I, when I was doing that, I was always taking a shape that I'd seen before. Try and draw a shape you haven't drawn before. It's not easy.
Yeah, so it's a thought process. It's an exercise. Now, what these people behind these agendas, this is what they're toying with. This is what they're playing with, but obviously on a massive scale, not just drawing a picture of a creature. They're actually trying to create a creature. So you can see straight away it's problematic, because what they're trying to do is create something from nothing, something that is completely new. Have you got the video lined up?
Yes, I have. Yes,
Yeah. So just before we do that, Lance, I'm sure you mentioned it last week on last week's show about that you used to have this either a vision or an idea that if you went to a different planet or crater or something and you saw something that no one had ever seen before, how would you describe it?
Well, my thought from a child was, if you went to got off a spaceship and you land on the planet and there was a new color that had never seen before, how would you take it back home to show people without taking something from the planet of that color? And even if you did,
how would you describe the color?
Well, yeah, I mean, first of all, think about that in your head. What could a brand new color that doesn't exist in our spectrum look like? Theoretically, we might not even be able to conceptualize it because we think it in the preordained spectrum.
Questions like this bend the human brain. Like when you get into like such vast distances, like what we're told about in space, like literally millions and millions of billions and billions of light years away. Like our brains just
but here was the real mind bender. I basically worked out that the only thing you could do would you could bring back an object from that planet that was that color. You bring it back on the spaceship to show people here, but the chances are, in fact, 100% chance that when you got here, that object would not appear to be the color you saw on that planet, because
it's not the same environment.
But if you understand how color works, that object is not really that color. It's because of the spectrum of the light.
We're perceiving it as that
that
colour.
you're perceiving it through. Yeah. That's how you interpret it. Everything is essentially just a frequency range, isn't it? So
it's not even 10 o'clock.
Well, I mean,
whole rabbit hole starts at night.
Right. Here's one for you. So, for instance, we often talk about or think about UFOs and aliens and creatures from other dimensions and stuff like that. Let's say that this is true, and but it doesn't exist. Whatever it is out there doesn't exist in this realm. Would it even be possible to transport it into this realm if it had never existed in this realm? It could be a substance, it could be a material, it could be, let's say they've got particular materials or properties that have never existed in this realm. Think about it. How would you transport it into a realm where even the material of that realm doesn't exist?
How do you know when you bring the material from that realm into this realm that it doesn't create some crazy chemical reaction and just burn up at
because
at 4
of
million degrees because it's not compatible?
Reaction to oxygen or atmosphere,
or the way that the oxygen, theoretically,
or water, might not,
Yeah, it's just an unknown of an unknown, isn't it? At the end of the day, and that's what makes it quite. I was thinking about that when I was about, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years old, and I was talking to kids about that in the playground.
You're fucking
they're
weirdo,
like,
Lars.
what? No wonder. No wonder that my parents got called into school.
You didn't get invited to the birthday parties.
No, I got invited to the headmaster's office with the governors.
Okay.
Continue,
Well,
Marsley, continue.
They thought I was starting a cult.
Yeah, maybe we'll skip that video. We can always play it later. I'm conscious of the time because I haven't even got past the first paragraph of the introduction. So
I've got 4 other videos too.
Let's push forward. So
where should we go?
Right. So let me talk about the Holy Trinity, or the unholy Trinity. So you could pretty much say, along with the law of three, we all know the Holy Trinity, God the Father, God the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So potentially what we're talking about is a combination, a swabbing together of, you could say that you've got the creator, the God, the source, you've got the man, which could be the material, and then you've got the spirit. So you could say that's a type of triad. Now, I should have said this just before, but you've also got another theory, which is pantheism. So it basically means that everything, God is everything, and all is God, or divine. Okay, so you got to factor that into the mix. So it's not just a case of is it spirit, is it matter? There's also a third party, which would actually possibly be the source or the creator. So once again, going back to say those behind the human agenda, they've got to factor in where does God play a part in this. Now, what you could say is that they're basically trying to usurp God. They have some kind of God complex. They want to cut God out of the equation of creation. I would suggest that's possibly what is happening in the minds of these individuals behind these agendas. They want to basically be God and be the creator and start creating all kinds of things. Now, talking about the occultists in dark suits, what you could say is that they definitely lack empathy in many ways. They're more interested in innovation. You could also say that innovation potentially is the enemy to empathy. Now, you may not be able to draw the connection between the two, but if I was to add that innovation from, say, more of a low frequency, a more dense perspective, where they don't factor in things like morality or character or any of those things, that would you could put more in the consciousness spirit box. So because they're kind of devoid of that, they're more materialistic, they're materialists, they're only interested in innovation. So you could say innovation is the enemy of empathy. And I would also suggest that what we're seeing play out right now is almost a battle, a war between innovation and empathy. And if you look at the people, say in the truth or freedom movement, they would be those who are more aligned with empathy. Now, if you look at the dark occultists, they would be more aligned with innovation, as in technology. Now, all of the agendas, they're all kind of geared towards innovation, to moving things forwards with innovation. And now it may go under the guise of to help us to improve life, but generally they don't really take a lot of things into consideration. They just push ahead with the innovation because they're kind of driven for innovation but devoid of empathy, and that creates a massive imbalance. And I would say that is what we're up against, and that is our number one enemy, is the innovators without empathy.
I think that's very fair to put it like that. That is our number one enemy.
Yeah.
laden with gold or prepared for consumption. It's the ravenous huntsman. Right arm hold your carcass triumphant. Sound of Oma Beats and Double NMC. It's Friday night, it's Rise Above. Anti Andy PG. Anti Buff. Yo. Listen, one more for me. It's like Clash of the Titans, blood splash, fantasy violence, run from the harpy, the siren, the werewolf, the lycan, dash for the silence. The way that I build up a lyric, same way psychics summon up spirits, spitting out words from the letters on the Ouija board. But the demons you're reaching for, evil thoughts from greasy hordes, speaking live from the other side. On the mix they move with the force. There's a few points to clarify, then want me to turn to the dark side and make a deal with a life force parasite. That's a burning appetite, observing the herd from a Death Star satellite. Them are serving the serpent, further the birth, our purpose is working. Under the watchful guise of the all-seeing eye, agents are lurking. Never tell me there's not a conspiracy. 5 billion are living their life hurting. You're not a friend to me, don't make me your enemy. We need a revolution, I'll be the first in. And I keep researching, 20 years deep and my cranium's bursting. You gotta put the work in, away from this message MCs are shirking. Nowadays everybody wanna chat, nowadays everybody wanna spit, nowadays everybody want wax, nowadays everybody wanna mix. Big up Oma Beats, Rise Above family.
The all-seeing badge, baby. Yo, big up Oma Beats. How's everybody doing? Oh, you're gonna play one more? Okay, let's fade him out. Yo. Okay, everyone, how's it doing? How are we doing on a Friday night? Let's get Admiral Bird Nerd back in the Guardians. The whole team is assembled apart from Magix. Magix, where you at? Everyone, let us know how you enjoy the addition to the show of having Oma Beats over there in the corner. Oma Beats, rather than some videos, rather than a YouTube video, we'll have some
music.
Man, a bit of music, man, now and again is good for the soul.
It is good for the soul, absolutely. He's not muted. No one is muted.
You can hear me.
Yeah, he just wasn't close enough.
I just wasn't close enough, that's all.
So, we are back.
Want to big up Magix on the first beat.
Yeah, Magix on the first beat. Yeah, that was heavy. Big up Magix, where you at, mate? Jump in, because you got the maps. I tighten the Guardians and Admiral Bird Nerd. So, in the Guardians, said before the break, first principles, yeah? Let's establish the first principles. What is Antarctica? Is it a continent at the south of the Earth? Is it something that surrounds us? And I think this is where we need the VAG, don't we? We actually need the VAG perspective here.
Well, if you want the full spectrum,
we need the full spectrum. Right. So if you just type in G, because as soon as you type in G, what do you get? God VAG straight away.
Let me just throw something in.
Yeah. Let's give us a prelude, please.
You chat away.
Right. So, is everybody aware what the symbol or the logo of the Freemasons is?
The cross compass.
Yeah. So the compass. So it's all about mapping the landscape, because it's all about grids. It's all about penning people in, borders, control,
farming.
Yeah. So for me, I would see this as the limitation of our tools to actually explore something like this continent or this border. Has anybody been there?
I've never thought about this before.
Well, we go to the moon, and yet they say it's too difficult to actually do any exploration in Antarctica.
Very good point.
Yeah, look at the investment that's going to the moon.
Why do you think that would be? Why would they invest so far in getting off planet when we haven't even explored what's apparently a whole landmass at the bottom of our planet?
Well, it's because they're trying to build a landscape, one that's like where we captured. There's nowhere else to go. I don't think it's coincidental that what's taking place right now leads straight after all of the so-called Earth or the plane or the realm
Yeah.
or the globe has been explored. There's no land that we don't really know about. So now would be the great time to do what they're doing, because there's no escape. Which is why I live off grid. I explore off grid thinking and mentality. So it's all connected to this, the grid.
Yeah,
Control.
well, at the end of the day, what is the square and compass? That is what's used to map the world.
Yeah, because they're aimed horizontally. That's all. The only way they can expand is by moving horizontally and then controlling whatever they can capture. Now, if there is land, which there possibly is, if we knew about it in the public domain, what would happen? We'd all try and get there.
Yeah, people would try and go there.
Yeah, and right with what's happening right now, there is literally nowhere to go. I mean, can we name the countries where it would be useful to go at this moment in time?
To escape the Soviet Union is what you're saying, yeah?
Yeah,
Well,
let's name
I mean, straight off the bat, I would say I know that for a fact that Cambodia at the moment has zero COVID reporting, probably because it's such a broken country already. They just haven't bothered to push it there. It's in control of trying that happen. The next on my list would probably be Russia.
Yeah.
Madagascar.
Yeah, Madagascar would be nice.
Yeah, Madagascar.
Yeah, that'd be nice, I reckon.
If they haven't already assassinated that Andy Jolini, the president of Madagascar.
Yeah, but if you factor in how many countries there are, there's not many. There's literally
No, it's not. It's a handful.
Yeah, literally a handful. So this would be the perfect opportunity. Whereas if they tried to pull off anything like this, I don't know, 300 years ago, people would try and scatter. I mean, isn't that the origins of America?
Exactly. Yeah, people fleeing the sort of the aristocracy, the imperialism, the royally run hierarchy of Europe to start again and be free. That's what America was supposed to be about, wasn't it?
Yeah, the land of the free, and that's why they got so much trouble now, because there's a land grab again.
No, Bruce Townsley here has just said that New Zealand is a good place to escape to. With all due respect, Bruce, I disagree, because although New Zealand keeps reporting they're COVID free, what happens when they have a couple of cases? They've got that nutter Durnbird, and she just locks everything down. She says, "You're going to the quarantine camp." It's like,
can anybody fly there at the moment or leave there?
I'm not sure. Can anyone comment on that? Any NZ crew? I know we've got international viewers. I know we've got a big following in Germany. We've got people from down under and New Zealand. Anyone that's tuned in from Australia and New Zealand, please let us know. Can you fly in and out of New Zealand at the moment? Because
they went back into lockdown, though.
Yeah, well, I heard today.
I know they're all shouting about, oh yeah, this is how you deal with a pandemic.
Yeah, and they had one case, and they went hardcore lockdown. You're going to the internment camp if you don't have a vaccine.
Yeah, and then they've all been locked down again, I think.
Yeah, well, so much for COVID-free New Zealand. I've heard people, and
we're not sure about that. That's just what I heard.
Yeah, and Bruce, I'm not picking on you, mate. I've heard a lot of other people make this argument. I've got to get to New Zealand. I mean, yeah, New Zealand might have low levels of apparent deaths, and it's spaced out. But their government is hardcore Coviets. She's talking about
she's just been re-elected again as well.
She's been re-elected
another
again.
6 years, yeah.
Move a bit closer to me, Andy PG, because we've got to get in the camera.
Yeah, sorry, another 6 years.
The scary thing, lads, about that is presumably then there's guys out there that, like us, that have refused the vaccine or would refuse the vaccine, that have been then placed into COVID camps and told that they can't leave until they get the vaccine. And we're hearing nothing about that, because of the blockages they're putting on international messages at the moment.
Yeah,
we're not hearing about the people like us that have refused it.
With Australia, that's definitely happening with social media. They had a problem with Facebook, didn't they? Because some of our Australian viewers actually messaged me and said, we cannot share news out of our country to you guys because of this disagreement between Facebook and our government.
Really?
Yeah, this happened 2 weeks
Mate,
ago.
I didn't know
Remember,
this.
I got the pig farming story.
Yeah.
No, we did that. Basically, I got a story from. No, I put this in a stream 5 streams ago, and it came from one of our down under viewers. That basically, Facebook was totally limiting sharing news on Messenger.
Right.
Yeah, mental.
And people have said that we're alarmists for pointing out the empty.
Oh,
there he goes.
Look, do you see what he's about to say? We're alarmists for pointing out the empty hospitals, and the COVID Union just cut his stream. A perfect example in a Guardians of the Denying Force in Action, yeah?
Yeah, confirmation.
absolute confirmation. Like Word Nerd earlier on, he was just like quoting sort of like stuff about Admiral Byrd. He spoke for 10 minutes, no problem. As soon as he said that, the little hook comes and pulls him off the stage like that.
Yeah, so if you look at the mindset of the horizontalists, it's all about designing an architecture.
Oh, there we go.
Landscaping.
The horizontalist. And for anyone that hasn't heard that term before in the Guardians, can you explain what you mean by horizontalists?
Well, it's a mindset, and it's due to lack of essence or soul, where in order to increase or expand, you have to be aimed horizontally, whereas people with essence or soul or higher bodies, they ascend vertically, so they're aimed vertically. So when they assess using the trivium, the solution is always to ascend, whereas the horizontalists will always be to move outwards in a linear fashion. But I would bring into question the whole landscape of the realm that we live, and the information that we're being given, or that what we're taught at school, is very limiting. Because, you know, if there was ways or places to escape to, I don't know about you, but I'll definitely be going there.
I would already be investigating it at least.
Yeah, so we're already and I don't think this is necessarily just education. I think it's more in our psyche. You know, if you visualize the realm where you live, you know, what visions do you have? It's generally
Do you know what you're making me think of? You're making me think of the Truman Show. Because in the Truman Show, Truman, through his whole life, had been programmed to be very fearful of water. And he lived on an island that was sort of sizable enough for him to have a community and not feel trapped. And he never wanted to leave. But when he did want to leave, the opposing force would turn on the storms and the wind. And, you know, and we're told that we can't go to Antarctica because of what? International treaties?
Well, there's bits of it you can go to, isn't there? They let you get.
I've heard that when you pay your 25 or 30,000 pounds to do your Antarctic expedition, I've heard from multiple sources that you basically go to the most northern tip of Greenland and you look at a piece of ice which is so big. Not Greenland.
Greenland is the Arctic, isn't it?
Sorry,
Argentina.
Argentina. You go to You go to a part of Argentina which is basically an ice sheet, which you can see that far that way. You wouldn't know any different. Because you don't know any different.
So if you look at, there's a lot of Argentinian. Mouth to the mic. There we go. Mouth to the mic. There's a lot of Argentinian tours which do a little trip over to the peninsula, and you can see a variance of they've got like mini sort of ice mountains as such. So I think they take you around those. But there's a.
But you wouldn't know any different because if you really went there, you get to the ice wall. What are you going to do? Get a helicopter and look above it? Because we've seen everyone's seen pictures of the ice wall.
You can also buy around. They fly around the sort of the edge of Antarctica in helicopters and experience as well. You can, if you look online, you can book these experiences. Well, not at the moment, but you can book these experiences. They're not cheap though.
They start at £10,000.
Yeah, that's right. They make it pretty unachievable for the average person, really, for a little trip out.
I mean, sorry, it's been made on going to the moon, going to Mars, space travel.
Absolutely, Lee.
And how much?
Lee, that's what the producer said 5 minutes ago. We're sending probes to the surface of Mars. When was the last probe that went to the surface of Antarctica and showed you pictures?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I would bring into question, you know, what we're actually told with regards to the landscape. I think the way to navigate around this type of thing would be to research, to look at the information that they give us, because they always drop hints or clues, because that's the nature of the game. So. But I wouldn't take it as an absolute, whatever is presented.
I mean, yeah, that's right. I mean, there's a lot of expeditions which don't make the mainstream news as well. So quite a while ago, there was an expedition which went there, and there was a team. Because going back to the landscape before I say that, it's forever changing. You think ice melts and reshapes, you know. So this is one of the issues with expeditions. That's why they always go back and research the areas where they feel is the best place to be. So there was, I think it was the 80s. There was a guy who went out there with his team. The story was one of the team tripped over something because they were looking at an old place where they had researched previously, and was following up on someone's previous research there. Thank you, Lance. And anyway, so it turns out they found loads of different things. They found like a ball, like a baseball covered in sealskin, and a couple of bats. But obviously they were joking, thinking that they don't really think they had baseball back in those days. You know? On top of that, they found what they thought was a settlement, essentially. They found coins with
unknown lizards upon the coins, and none of this was really documented, but it was in the Science Journal. So his studies, it is in the Science Journal. I don't know if they've pulled up because it's a link or something I gave ages ago.
Oh, is that on the WhatsApp group?
Yeah, but it's a
Damn,
it's
son.
an interesting article. It's not a great.
If it wasn't for Magic
teaser.
flooding that WhatsApp group, I'd have to pull it up right now, but I'd have to go through 550,000 pages of his posts and his rabbit hole to find it again.
But,
Imagine you need to get some
the
sleep,
point
brother.
being is they're always suppressing that sort of information. That's the biggest issue. Is the guys who actually make the effort to go out there, for whatever reasons, whether it's for their own scientific research or untoward reasons that they're doing, if they don't really document stuff about that.
One of the things that can be said, there's a lot of ice caves there which are forever changing. So there's one particular hole which they've been looking at for a long time, and a lot of people who say this is an entrance. So a lot of these guys who think that they there's entrances into the hollow earth as such from Antarctica. One of the explanations for those holes could be the fact that ice melts, and if you have a pocket of air, which they found several pockets of air in lots of different studies of Antarctica.
Like geothermal vents?
Well, not necessarily, just where maybe the ice has had a pocket of air in there, and it's heated up as it's gotten to as the ice has changed and moved and melted, that maybe the sun's created warmth inside that bubble. I'm not too entirely sure.
You need to turn your mic up, Andy.
However, I'll just speak into the mic. So basically what they're saying is that these holes are forever changing because they're melting, and they've got photographs every few weeks from one particular hole, which was very interesting for the guys thinking there's a hollow earth, and that shows that it's actually melting and it's not an entrance. And then when they send their little drone inside there, it's actually just a hollow cave.
So what we're actually getting at is that the melting of Antarctica could actually be coming from within,
possibly,
rather
because
than without.
the other thing they've also found is evidence of civilizations dating a very long time ago, up to 40 million years is what they're saying on there.
40 million years?
Yes, I was gobsmacked. There's 4,000 years, 4 million years, and 40 million years. And they stack on top of each other, because what they were saying is in the original maps, Antarctica wasn't ice; there was land there.
Yeah, and Magic's is coming with these maps soon.
So
He's coming.
these
Magic's,
are the
where
things
are
that
you?
Magic's going to be able to back up on this, and it's a really interesting read when you start to rabbit hole around the 4 million year plus in Antarctica. You see that it looks like it was land.
Yep.
And it was inhabited,
and we are going to have those. We are going to have those.
They found all sorts of different systems of life, like for example, money. They found money there, which was really interesting. Because we're to believe that money isn't that old. Trade for trade was the way forward. But if you think about the different generations of
So
humans
how old
that
did they say
existed,
in those coins were that they found?
well, they haven't been able to date them, and also there's very little information apart from the original report from the explorers that those coins were ever found. But he spoke about them in the Science
These
Journal.
we've already got a comment here. These links that you're talking about, we have these links, but they're in the WhatsApp group. We'll put these up in the next break. We'll find them. We'll put them up.
Yeah,
guys, don't forget. We can always put these on the Rise Above Telegram page. Don't forget.
Yeah,
to
and riseabove.news. So let's change some banners.
Absolutely.
Let's get some.
Also, guys, don't forget tonight. Like, if there's any questions, put the hashtag ICE. Yes, then we know that it's a question.
The
for us
last
and
question we
need to
had was about the Black Death.
Yeah, so we've got that here. So, racist.
No, he's taking the piss out of that guy that came on the other week and just called us all racist for watching Godfad.
Oh, come on.
What was the question about the Black Death we had a minute ago? Then you
What the Black Death? Where the Black Death?
Well, I've heard that the Black
Start,
Death. I've heard that the Black Death was spread through. They said that there was people, the guys with the long masks. They were like the doctors of the Black Death. You've seen those pictures, right?
With the sage and that.
Well, there's an alternative story that they were actually seen before the outbreak happened, like spreading stuff into water and stuff. I mean, I'm only paraphrasing what I've heard. I don't.
The Black Death was rats, though. Really.
Well, that's the official story.
That's the story. That's what. Yeah. I mean, and those the crow-faced masks were the doctors. So when someone was going to die, they would send. It's a very odd and dark thing, but they did it back in the day. In England, in a lot of different places, they used to have these crow masks for the doctors to deliver the death.
Yeah, we've seen it. Inner Guardians, have you got any thoughts about this? Have you looked into any alternative ideas about what those plagues and Black Deaths could have been?
Not in depth, but I would apply the same thing that what's happening now. We don't actually know anything about what's taking place right now. So what chance have we got of figuring out something that happened 100 years ago?
Yeah, it come back to first principles with you always, and that's why you're part of the team, mate. That's why we've got you here, because at the end of the day, if we wanted to discuss something, You know, no one can even agree what the pandemic happening right now, what the origin of that was. So, you know, to talk about something that happened before any of us were alive, you're absolutely right. It's pretty much conjecture.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. But you know, it's still something. You know, knowing where you are, knowing what the situation is around you is very important. You know, it's basic situational awareness. Let's face it, we don't even know the realm that we live in.
Yeah. The producer just said we saw a documentary that was testament to say that sort of like dark occultist rabbis were spreading pathogens in the water before the Black Death. That'll probably get me banned. But yeah, hey, look, I wouldn't be surprised if the same MO doesn't resonate throughout history.
It's the same. It's the same old. But I think, like
under the sun.
Yeah, like I said before, we're hitting a critical mass, and I think it's not a coincidence or it's not an accident that this is happening right now. When you look at the timeline throughout history, and with regards to the sort of capturing of the landscape, because the landscape affects the psyche. So most of the stuff that we can research or look into, we'll actually find how it's affected the psyche and the way we think, because we tend to think that there's nowhere else to go.
So it comes back to as within, so without. They're actually affecting our psyche by altering our perception of what the outward world is.
Exactly. Yes.
Wow. I think that's a great introduction for what we were going to play next, because we're talking about like first principles. What is Antarctica? We've only been told by an infrastructure of dark occultist, anti-humanistic, pathological, lying, genocidal maniacs.
An indoctrination education system.
Yeah, that's the people that told us what Antarctica is. So, oh, you just pulled the earphones out.
Don't worry about that,
you
mate.
Bumberhole. Oh no, the camera's gone.
Oh dear. There's trouble up there.
And there we
The
go.
denying. Oh no. Shit.
Hear me now.
Now there we go.
That's good.
Very good. Very good.
No, we've got echo. One, two, 1, 2. Oh my god. I apologize, everyone. Check. Okay, hang tight, everyone. We are back. Let us know how we're sounding. I apologize for that.
Technical glitches again.
No, the denying force is so strong. It's so fucking strong this week. Let me just while we just got everything good, let me just invite Omar Beats back in. Because, we're not going to take it from the denying force. We're just simply not taking it. 1 sec. Bear with us, everyone. Just need to get Omar Beats back in the stream. This is how we do.
Here we go. Am I back on yet?
No, you shut up until I get this sorted. Just be quiet, mate. This is critical.
Saying you want to be on the next and be quiet.
Right. Okay. Let's do that one too. Right. So we are back. Sorry, everyone. Let us know if we are back and you can sound us. It's all good. I apologise for that. Let me take that window over there.
Where were we?
We were talking about what is Antarctica. We were talking about first principles. And I was about to start sharing Godvag. 1 sec. You don't know how to do this. So everyone, what is Antarctica? Is it right? Can you find the Godvag over here, please?
Absolutely.
It's me trying to step back. But when the shit hits the fan, the general has to take charge because no one else knows how to sort out the stream when that happens.
Oh, look at that, Lance! I just typed in G and Godvag did not come up.
What? Why is it saying Godvilla? Godzilla versus King Kong. Right, God Vag.
Yeah.
Right, so one of our favourite creators on YouTube, Glodge Vermast, aka Wim, is his real name. We're on first name terms, me and Wim, we're mates. We call him the God Vag as a sign of respect, and he has got some alternative ideas. Go further down. It says Antarctica and the final flat Earth map. Right, guys. So the subject is, what is Antarctica? Let's establish some first principles from an alternative view. And this is why we have Inner Guardians here. First principles are what, Inner Guardians? Why are they so important?
Well, it's your way to direct realism. Without direct realism, you're literally playing ping pong in a dark room because you've got information or disinformation that you can't verify. You can't put it under any sort of scientific process. So it becomes problematic to actually decipher anything. So you become deranged and deluded, living a life that you don't really understand. So that leaves the doors open for somebody else to tell you what to do. It's a form of slavery.
So basically, like you say, until those first principles are established, you are mentally and perceptually the slave of the master,
imprisoned,
who has hidden the first principles from you.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's two types of prisons. There's the physical 3D version of the prison, and then there's the prison of your mind, or your perception, or your psyche. As without, so within.
As above, so below, and the first shall be last. Right. So let's establish, or let's have an alternative view of what the first principles are. Producer, let's share the screen and let's see what our favourite creator, Mr. Glodge Vermast, says about Antarctica. Run the track.
So, you want the truth about Antarctica? Fasten your seatbelts. Here it comes. Let's zoom in on the moon. The moon is the reflection of Earth. Not the little ball you have been told, but a gigantic Earth. And in one of these craters we live, the crater Sulpicius Gallus M. Probably you won't believe a word I say, but I will prove it to you within the next minute. Watch this. Take a freeze frame of the crater. Darken the image. Now let's make a 3D map. Watch the differences in height. Next, we take the official Antarctica map. Flip horizontally, rotate a bit, skew it a bit, put it on top of the 3D map. Well, for me, that's a match. But for you unbelievers, let's watch it in detail. Now, a lot of people won't believe this, but what are the chances that I take a random crater of the moon, make a 3D map of it that matches the map of Antarctica perfectly? The chances are 0, except when you know what you're doing. If you want to know how I got there, I explained it in my previous videos. To be honest, this insight was a complete surprise for me too.
Is that better? Let us know if it's better.
Because I thought there
check.
was no Antarctica. So both theories are true. You have the ice wall of the flat Earth, within the middle the...
Guys, 1212, we apologise. We're trying to pump up the vacuum inside the room. It's an issue with our internal levels. 500 subscribers to Rise Above Live. Big up everyone. This is God Vag, Antarctica.
North Pole, and you have the continent Antarctica. Only it is much bigger and it is not surrounded by water. There is probably no South Pole, as we are not on a little ball. Now I will look for the passage to get out of the crater. Someone who saw my video gave a reply saying that the symbol of Earth in the series Stargate was this. You can see the resemblance with Sulpicius Gallus M. Now I will give you some information about the Pillars of Hercules, because I think that is the clue to get out of the crater. For this, I will take Wikipedia. According to Plato's account, the lost realm of Atlantis was situated beyond the Pillars of Hercules, in effect placing it in the realm of the unknown. Renaissance tradition says the pillars bore the warning nec plus ultra, also non plus ultra, nothing further beyond, serving as a warning to sailors and navigators to go no further. So when the psychopaths tell you to go no further, you can be damn sure there is something beyond. So where are the Pillars of Hercules? So they tell us the Pillars of Hercules are situated in Spain and Morocco. Let's investigate that. Well, they seem to have the right angle in Morocco. In Spain, some people know it too. The Pillars of Hercules remind me of the favorite subject of the Freemasons, the Pillars of Jachin and Boaz. So, you destroy the pillars, the symbolic destruction of the gate. Sadly enough for them, that was exactly the event that got me searching for the truth. Later on, the Spanish changed their symbols into plus ultra. There is more. Columbus discovered the New World. I think the New World was not about the Americas. It wouldn't surprise me that Columbus discovered the passage out of the crater. Now, why am I saying this? Because when you look on the Antarctica map, you have a place called the Hercules Inlet. When you put that on the new map I made, you see the gateway of the two pillars. When you flip the map, you can clearly see the two pillars and the gateway. Another way to get out would simply be walking all the way out of Antarctica into the New World. Maybe the New World Order is not the New World Order, but the New World Order, the small elite that knows there is a new world beyond. The same people that made the Antarctica map. They know. So, in World War II, with the improvements of air flight, the Americans must have seen the bigger Antarctica, or the Germans, British, Russians, but nobody says a word. Why? That's because there are no Germans, British, or American. They are all servants of the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire that slowly morphed into the Holy Roman Empire and the Vatican. Top of the military are the Templars. The Templars' cross is everywhere. In England, Germany, the Vatican, Russia, and so on. All the elites are members of the Templars. And in the meanwhile, during World War II, they are hiding behind their neutrality in their hiding place, Switzerland, headquarters of the Templars, with their Templar treasure and looting the whole of Europe with their favorite criminals, the Nazis. After the war, the German people are slaughtered, and the real criminals flee to the US and the USSR, where they work on their new global deception, the fake space program. To the US, they sent one of their top criminals, Werner von Braun. There, he creates NASA, responsible for the fake solar system and the fake moon landings. Now I will end with this image. The eagle of the Roman Empire lands on Biosphere Earth, crater on the bigger Earth, and covers it with the acacia, symbol of the Freemasons. In the back, you see the little ball Earth, the fake replacement of the real Earth. You also see the number 11, the two pillars. They are manipulating our subconscious. There is a word for this whole story, and sooner or later, these people will get what they deserve. Thanks for watching.
Mute me too. So, we're back.
So that's Godvag.
Godvag. Wow.
The Vag.
So, there is our alternative view of what. Can you stop that, please? We've got another video playing. Apologies, guys. Where is that coming from? Oh my God! Where is that video even coming from? Give it here. Right, we don't know what that video was. Apologies, guys. So everyone wanted the Vag-tastic view of what it was. That's what Vag says. We have our other team members. Let's assemble the Rise Above team. Inner Guardians. Magic, Word Nerd. Welcome to the stream, Magic. Hello. Everyone hear us?
Yes. Evening, everyone.
Hey. Evening. How you doing? So, Magix, welcome to the stream. You've got a new profile picture this week, mate. Hey. Evening. How you doing? 1 2 1 2. We got rid of the echo. Right. Okay, everyone. Hello. Let me just get this right. Put that down. Yep. Magix. No. Right, Magix has muted himself. Right. Okay, guys. So that's what Godvag thinks Antarctica is. He thinks that Antarctica is actually half of our frozen crater realm. We had a few comments in the comments section. We're not still muted, are we? Please tell me we're not still muted. We need to turn the mic up. 1 2 1 2.
I can hear you.
Yeah, you can hear us all right. Let us know. Obviously, we've got some issues. When we play the video, we have to turn all the mics down, and then we have to sort of like, as Godvag says, we have to recapitulate. Yeah. Okay. There it is. We're back.
Recapitulate.
Yeah, that's what Godvag. Halfway through every video, he goes,
kind of
let
like
me
recalibrate.
Recapitulate. Yeah. Recalibrate. So, Magix, can you unmute yourself and say hello to everyone? Oh no, he's just disappeared. In the Guardians, let's have your thoughts on Godvag's take on what Antarctica is. Do you think that is more plausible than what we've been told through our indoctrination?
Yeah, for the most part, I agree with most of what is displayed. It's quite interesting that that image looks like the yin yang. I don't know if you
it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean that could be some kind of symbol or message that has been left for us.
We also had someone say that it looks like the Wu-Tang symbol. And it does, because in case someone doesn't know, I've got that thing in the corner from Jizza Wu-Tang, and it's a crater. We all showed it. I showed that a couple of streams ago. It's on the front of his album cover.
Yeah, that's 100% the crater.
It is 100% the crater. So Inner Guardian saying it looks the same as the yin and the yang. Godvaj actually compared it to the left and right hemisphere of the brain as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As without, so within. So that the outer landscape may actually be more similar to the insiders, to what we realise. There's lots of clues there for us to navigate.
So the outer world actually mirrors the inner world. It's sort of like those. I'm sure everyone's seen those diagrams where they show like a microscopic view of the neurocortexes of the brain, and it actually looks exactly the same as like the nebulas of the galaxy.
100%.
Like the same as like a cell structure. It's all like, it's as above, so below. Yeah, the macrocosm, the microcosm. We're basically talking about the holographic reality. We're tangenting here, but that's what we do. We like tangents, don't we?
Yeah, but with regards to the landscape, I think that there is other places to get to, and the information that we've been given has led us to believe that there's nowhere to go. I teach people off-grid living, and for the most part, it's mainly the mindset, which I did mention on my social media this week.
Yeah. I've seen, mate, you've been a lot more active on the social media with your posts, and I always try and share them since you've come on. And I know we've energized you a little bit, haven't we, since you've come on here? Yeah, that's what it's about. With, like you say, right, the synergy of Gnosis, Rastafari. Yes, absolutely. At the end of the day, you say that the denying force is not something that is beating us down. It's something that can actually energize us. And anyone that's been following me on Facebook knows that halfway through last week, when I saw things really starting to happen, you'd have noticed I made about roughly 50 Facebook posts a day. Did you notice in the Guardians I was heavily commenting on the some of the 33 events that were going on in the news last week?
Yeah, well, it acts like a motivator.
It is.
Yeah, we see the reality. The net or the grid is closing in. And it's literally forcing, even for those that are not particularly interested, it's even forcing them to question things. I would say it's questioning force.
So the denying force can actually also be the questioning force.
Yeah.
A catalyst, some would say, a catalyst for change, a catalyst for positive progression. Sorry for checking my phone. Clara's just said she sent me some money. Yeah. Okay, Clara, thank you very much. I've got your money now. 2 T-shirts are going out in the post on Monday. 1 black and 1 khaki, if I remember rightly. Remember, Rise Above T-shirts, everyone. Oh, yeah, shit. Inner Guardians, Lee, I haven't sent you a T-shirt yet. I'm going to assume you're extra large.
No, about a large.
Large? Are you sure, mate? This is an extra large.
No, go for large.
You sure? Have you been working out recently? Because they're fitted. Listen, if you're in shape, a large will look dope. I'm seriously out of shape at the moment, so I'm normally an extra medium, believe it or not. But right now, I'm rocking an extra large. Rise Above has destroyed my my physique.
I'm working on hard living, so I'm trying to get used to not eating much.
Okay. Oh, what, you're training yourself for the coming food pandemic, as Lord Schwab puts it?
Potentially, yes.
We got a question on the screen.
Also, hiking across the Antarctic.
You reckon you could do it? Do you know who one man?
We might have to. Do
you know one man that has apparently? Please, Jamie, this as I speak. There's one man that has apparently traversed the Antarctic on homemade skis, and his surname is Rothschild. Copy it. So we know that Antarctic. Back to the subject in hand. Antarctic has, as you leave Argentina and you follow the yellow brick road. Oh shit! That's another Godvad video. That's a different Godvad video about Antarctic. We'll play that in a minute. When you leave Argentina, there's a little archipelago that goes around. You come to the start of Antarctica, and you get to Rothschild Island. So there is one man, the youngest member of the Rothschild family. Share that screen, Andy PG. You need to go back into that screen to share it. Put it over there then. Right, David D. Rothschild. One of the pioneers was David D. Rothschild. At the age of 23, was invited to a polar expedition. No, that's a polar expedition. I found it. This guy, David D. Rothschild, he actually apparently traversed Antarctica single-handedly on a pair of skis. And he's not the only Rothschild to have an open invitation to do whatever he wants in Antarctica. Because obviously peasants like us, we can't go there. In the Guardians, you can't go there. I can't go there. These guys, they can do whatever
Did
they
members
like.
of the royal family go there? Or do we know about that?
Oh, that's a whole other subject which we're going to come on to. Because what was it, in 2016 or 17, there was a massive expedition of delegates from all over the world. Bradley Golden, what's he saying?
I mean, the Pope went there.
Double LMC, if you can't afford to send me a free T-shirt yet due to your court fees. Oh, bollocks! I promised Bradley a free T-shirt. Bradley, I can afford to send you that T-shirt. Send me a message with your address and I'll post it myself. I apologise. Mate, it's gone crazy here. We've got the new T-shirts. Bradley Golden, big up all the Texas crew. So, so we've got the first person here. Share that screen. We're just Jamie. The first person here to ever cross Antarctica was apparently an American called Colin O'Brady.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me good, yeah?
Yeah, we can hear you, Magic. So have you got those maps ready? Because we've been talking about the hidden maps of Antarctica.
American called Colin O'Brady.
Yeah, happy birthday for Bradley, and tomorrow, is it?
Oh, tomorrow. Massive happy birthday to Bradley. Hang tight with the Texas crew. Hang tight everyone watching from the USA, outside of the United Kingdom and the Soviet Union, wherever you are. Big up. This is Rise Above on a Friday night. And we're talking about Operation Antarctica. Yeah, Bradley, email me. The T-shirts come in.
So have you got the maps? Have you got the maps out of the group, or do you want me to?
Did you send them to me on Facebook Messenger like I asked you, Magix? Because I can't have WhatsApp on my computer. Do it right now. Magix, why don't you share your screen from that end? You've got the maps.
Yeah, let's do that.
Click share screen from your end, mate, and we can control it. Yeah, of course. So big up Magix. Right, Magix.
Through? My connection's a little
No.
bit funny.
I want you to share. Have you got the maps on your device? Just share your screen and we can look at it there.
Yes. 1 sec.
Okay. So hang tight, everyone in the chat room. We're talking about like Antarctica. What is Antarctica? Is it really what we're told? A continent at the south of the world? Is it what Godvaj says? Is Antarctica actually half of our frozen crater? People that subscribe to Flat Earth, what do they think? They think it's a surrounding barrier.
Yep.
Hey, listen, we're not in any camp here, are we?
No. Well, no. Oh, I am. I'm saying it's crater.
Are you crater
I'm
camp?
crater camp.
Well, I'm not going to say I'm 100% anything, but if I've seen one thing which I find most convincing to explain what is Antarctica, why are all the NASA stuff fake, why does Flat Earth movement have so much legs when it comes to the curvature of the Earth is wrong?
And it never gets censored.
Yeah.
They're quite happy to let that roll.
The bigger Earth.
The bigger Earth. So, Magic. Oh, wait a minute. In the Guardians, have you got a tertiary option? Remember, not primary, secondary. What's a tertiary option in the Guardians?
Well, I try to use third options, and for the third option, both realities are possible, which would then lead us towards like some kind of simulation. It's just like everybody could have their own personal sun, everybody could have their own personal moon. That's another one. That's a massive rabbit hole.
So what you're saying is if this simulation theory is real and the universe is a holographic projection, what you're saying is for each sentient point of perception that's experiencing the illusion, it can actually be completely individual.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Well, that's how a computer game works, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all to do with the rendering and the observe effect. So each individual will affect what they observe.
So let's put that into perspective, right? If you're playing online and you're playing in a deathmatch with 100 other people around the world on Call of Duty, for instance, the map that you are playing on collectively will be the same. But individually, what's on your screen, down to your upgrades, your downloads,
your perception,
your unlocks, and your own personal perception, it's going to be completely different.
Sure, individual.
Is that a good analogy, do you think, in the Guardians?
Yeah, well, here's one for you. Right. With all the research, that we do, have you noticed that there's always evidence to support every theory?
Yes.
Definitely. It's like, is it this? Is it that? There's evidence for this. There's evidence for that. It's there's nothing that exists where it's like 100% absolute in this
Yes.
realm. It's almost like this realm is designed for kind of, I don't know, multiplayers or
multiplayer deathmatch.
Confusion of tongues will be another way.
Yeah.
But
Look at
everybody
this
has
comment
their
we've
own
got on the screen here, right? Truth and nature, and I haven't seen a comment from there before. What they're saying is we render as we go. Now think about when you walk around in a first-person view 3D computer game, you can't always see. That's what Human Vibration says. Wow. By the way, everyone, remember Human Vibration? She's coming on the show next week. Human Vibration is back next Friday, and we're going to be talking about what is
Awesome.
space. Awesome. And in the Guardians, I can't wait for you to have a chance to sort of have a discourse with Human Vibration, because I put her right up there with you, mate. She is deep. I don't know if you saw that episode. She looking at the synthetic reality. She's a sort of a specialist in that.
Yeah.
So, render as we go. This is what I always said.
Michael.
Militant stairs. Militant stairs. Militant stairs. Militant stairs. We fight the military here. 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 We fight the military here. I never invite the military here. We fight the military here. We fight the military here. Did you invite the military here? We fight the military here. Gore-Tex boots, ankle holster, kit, low visibility grey. Shock troops, 50k taser, crowd dispersal energy ray. Flame retardant combat fatigues, 9mm Glock 17s. SIG, 516, carbine with high cap magazine. Red dot sight gun mounted, flashlight, backup clip, strapped to his leg. Counter protest firearms officer, CS grenades across his chest. Strict orders, encrypted frequencies. Combat civil unrest, across all borders, untold secrecy. Rolled out on the streets of the west. We fight the military here. I never invite the military here. We fight the military here. We fight the military here. Did you invite the military here? We fight the military here. Yo, smoke clears on the battlefield. Now we can see the opposing force. These guys think they're freedom fighters, but they can't fight for the cause in skinny jeans, Doc Martin boots. Feeble frames are dressed in black. Mask face, dark balaclava, hammer and sickle, red communist flag. Minds filled with a poison doctrine, far left ideological trap. Hordes of social justice warriors, protest signs, poised to attack. Radical feminist virtue signals, poorly spelled in luminous green. Pay protesters are useful idiots, get used in numerous schemes. We fight the military here. I never invite the military here. We fight the military here. We fight the military here. Did you invite the military here? We fight the military here. Containment units dispatched en masse. DEFCON 5, civil war. Activate the takeover plan, all drills are live. Martial law, post-revolution times. Life under curfew, learn to adapt. Laws of federal crimes. They signal virtue when you react, so better keep in line. Don't speak out or cause speculation. No more protest signs. Adjustment camps for re-education for non-conformist minds who dare to rebel or question the state. That's OSF design. Front revolution and crush the debate. We fight the military here. We fight the military here. We fight the military here. In tactical boots and military wear. We fight the military here. Looking at me with militant stares. We fight the military here. Irrational troops and military gear. We fight the military here. Boots on the streets cause imminent fear.